get hit, like you get hit in the arm and you like and you keep running. That's bro. This is not the movies. This ain't
Right.
TV.
Put them right. That's what I said. Put some of these. I feel like that too. Some of these community leaders. I'm looking at the comments. Yeah, buddy. Some of these community leaders, I feel like in this situation, should go through a police academy so they can get that experience. Not the whole thing. And I'm just saying every once in a while, come sit in the class. Sign up for a ride along. Talk to your local
It, it,
officers about being in that. Like, see if you can do it. So you can
and
have a
Someone
that's
to
a
better
tell you how to
understanding
do
of
your
what's
job
going
and
on.
won't and ain't willing to do it.
that's a great idea. I'm gonna tell you. Here we have what we call
Jay, you just
police
spit.
academy, and what they do, they send them through certain things that we go through. It's called a fax machine, and what it is a
Hmm.
computer generated, and it's real life scenarios that has happened. And I
Oh yeah,
tell
yeah, yeah.
you,
I know what you're talking about.
each citizen that goes through that fax machine, they be saying, "Wow, it happens like this," and all those
Yes.
scenarios come from a real life scenario.
Right. The unique thing about the police is you can go do it. If you think you can do it better, you actually can just go do it. Go do it. Go do the job,
Sign
nigga.
up. Go
Go
sign up.
ahead.
Right.
Ain't
Go
nothing
sign
stopping you.
up.
Some departments make
Go
really
do
good
it.
money.
Yeah.
I know. In Tennessee, you can make six figures working the road. Texas, you can make six figures working the
In
road.
Go
Dallas,
do it.
that's all. That's about 6 figures. Shit, out there in Atlanta, when my partner had, they up to about 80,000 now.
Hmm.
They're making some good
Man,
money.
Oh
you can
yeah.
make
A lot of
figures.
them can't go do it because they can't complete the criteria to be one.
Exactly. Exactly.
That too.
They want to tell other people how to react in situations. They want to tell other people how to live their life. They want to tell other people what to do in situations they're not willing to even put themselves in.
I was gonna say I know a lot of people that always talk about trying to do stuff like that, but one thing that they say they can't do is put the blunt down. That's the reason why some
But they
people
do the
just can't
same.
do it.
They do the same shit with the military. They do the same
Yeah.
shit with teachers.
Yep.
They just want to criticize, criticize, criticize. Meanwhile, the recruiting office is open.
And
You
I know it. I know with certain law departments, enforcement departments, there's no age limit. Like one of my classmates, he joined on after getting out of the Air Force. He was 50, and it was a lot. Yeah, I know, right?
T Mills. One
Damn.
time, I
Yeah.
Can I
T Mills.
voice?
One
Well, hell,
time,
I'm
Oh.
65 and still doing it.
no, look.
I'm 65.
One time I made a post and I said. One time I made a post and I said, if all these young black boys who ain't who instead of not having nothing to look forward to after graduation, why don't we put them, send the motherfuckers straight into the police academies? Why don't we do, they gonna have a car, they ain't gotta get no student loan debt, they go to college for free, they can buy a house, they could be policing the neighborhoods that they grew up in, they know these niggas, they not gonna act crazy, you know what I'm saying? They can have some fucking authority, and people like,
Yep.
no, why we do that? I would never do that. Like,
Why? Why not?
why not? Why not?
Like I can say with my department, well, I can say for a lot of departments around the country are shorthanded. So they're starting to do stuff like that now, where
You
they're
can
taking
do it
on people fresh out of high school,
and
and
high
they'll
school
keep you
graduate
on
meets
until
all the
you
requirements, right? And it's
right.
like
They'll
it's
take you once you yeah, and once you turn 21, you'll be able to become an go into the academy and become an official police officer. But then you'll still be employed with the department during that time and getting paid a full salary while you're waiting to go into the academy. And
Or
shoot,
exactly.
send
I
them to
know
the
with my
military. Or send them to the
or going to
military
the military.
too.
Yes, and
But
I
Benny
tell my
tried
kids
that.
that
Benny
too.
tried that. They go against them on that. They instead of it's like you got the law. What side you want your son to be on? They would rather let their son be on the other side of the law and make every type of excuse as to why he should be allowed an exemption versus putting him on the
Right.
right
It's
side of the law
because
to begin with.
every kid think they're gonna go to college
Yeah.
and then get an NIL deal and then make it to the league. You're right. Unfortunately, that's not everybody.
It's unfortunately.
Right. That's
Rappers are ball
unfortunately
players.
that's not everybody. They don't
Not
most of these people
nobody.
don't understand the small percentage. It's like 8 out of every 10,000 high school players will make it
The
to
the
Division
percentage
One.
is 0.023%. Zero
Right. So
percent.
that's
Zero
right. So
zero
you
point zero two three is 0%.
right. The
But people
Hey,
chance
live
of
on the
making it
Uh,
possible, not the probable.
let me
right.
Frank, you had something, bro. You said you had something.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I just wanted to say real quick. So I work on I'm a medic on the West Bank of New Orleans and Jefferson
Hey,
Parish, and we had like these two examples. I remember last year there was this incident where cars kept getting taken from New Orleans. They were bringing them over here, and same situation. Dude gets pulled over in a stolen vehicle, and then I get called just to check him out because he said he
Hold
got
on,
roughed up a
Frank.
little bit.
Hold on, Frank.
So
You white?
Spanish. So I guess is that I mean I can't. You don't want me to say none?
Go ahead, Frank.
All right. So yeah, so they pulled him over. I got called out to check him up because he said they put the handcuffs on him too hard. And when I got there, all the stolen cars were there. And then I was just talking to the cops. I'm like, "Oh, what happened?" Like, "Oh, well, we found him. We chased him. We pulled him over. We told him to put his hands up and get out the car, and he got out." And then last week, kid got shot because the same thing happened. Stolen car, driving away, crashed, jumped out, wearing one of the shiesty masks in the dark. Cop chased him into a neighborhood. Says he pulled a gun on him, so the kid got shot. Thankfully, he survived and he's healing and all that. So I'm just saying that that's the way I feel about the situation. Is like if the kid just got pulled over and they were just talking to him, like, "Oh, what are you doing in this neighborhood?" Blah blah blah. Kid gets scared because he's never talked to the police before, and then starts just running away. Then I'd be like, yeah, then why is the cop shooting this dude? But if he was in a stolen car and he's running away and he does have a gun, then it's like they were saying earlier, if there is consequences to your actions. You know what I'm saying? So, and I also, whatever dude was just saying that shit about the cops being more involved, like people in from their community being cops in their own community. I'll just say one more thing. I think it's really cool, like the neighboring high school kids that'll come by and stop at the EMS station and they'll get in the back of the ambulance. And like, it's so cool to watch their faces light up when you're like, all right, this is what we do. This is what's expected of us. You got to do this and that. And they're like, damn, it's like, I feel like that also needs to happen from the perspective of the police. Like, I feel like there's not a lot of options for kids that feel maybe marginalized against the police and other places like that. They don't even consider that they don't even consider that because they're not exposed to it. I feel like they're just their friends and their family members might be like, oh well, you can't do that. You're not supposed to do that. It's us against them, But like I said, I've seen it firsthand where you do get kids from the surrounding communities come spend the day with us, and it's cool to see like they ask cool questions and you can see their faces light up like they've never even fathomed the idea that they could finish high school and then come work with us after going to school for 6 months, be like an EMT or a medic. But I feel like same thing applies also to being a fireman or being a cop. It's just something that doesn't happen. And I think
Yeah,
that would
because
be cool if that did happen.
yeah, we don't teach them that they could. It's a cultural thing on our side. Like we tell them, like, no, don't do that. Like why? It's the easiest job to get. You gonna have something. You gonna have something. Like, but we don't even allow that to be a reality. We shoot that shit down and say, you know what, don't do that. That even though that's a guaranteed easy job. You in the best physical shape of your life, you gonna pass this academy. You ain't no
Right.
40-year-old who been eating donuts. You about to
Right.
kill this shit. You about to have
Yeah.
you a car. You ain't even gotta get you no bad credit car loans and ruin your credit early. You got a car. You gonna have
Hmm.
somewhere to live at an apartment that's gonna give you cheap rent just because you there. You gonna have something. But we're not interested in telling our kids how to have them. We rather just be like, nope, don't do that. Do something that's more difficult and then try and figure the shit out.
No, bro.
But we teach them
It's
how to
never.
scam. We teach them how to. We
It's
teach them.
nah.
Come
What
on,
they
bro.
told me the last time, it's never too late. When I was talking about wait until you fucking 30-something years old with a family in debt to join the military, and I'm like, man, you don't want to do that. You want to do it when you're young, and you know what I'm saying, when you can survive off $900 a paycheck. Now when you got fucking student loan, 3 kids, 2 baby mamas, and now you want, I'm like, and you
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying?
The
Like, do
math
what you
ain't
gotta
mathing.
do, but it's like it's not the ideal situation. But people think it's old, it's God's plan. God ain't got shit to do with this shit. When he was trying to tell your ass to do the right thing, you wasn't listening. So don't try to bring him up now. Like, this is your plan. You chose this outcome. You chose this path. You chose this life. And so it's like, that's what I was saying earlier. Like, bro, sometimes we got to do this shit while we young. When you're in the best shape of your life, when you can work that overtime and wake up and go and hit the dirt. You know what I'm saying? Hit the grind and hit the road. You don't have much responsibility. You ain't got babies and kids and baby mamas and student loans. And like, it's easier to do shit like this when you're younger. You put your time in the game and you give yourself an option. Okay, do I want to stay in this career? Do I want to change? Do I want to do it? But at least you got some money in your pocket, some stability. You know what I'm saying? Some work experience under your belt. But that requires discipline. That requires time. That requires doing something versus quick quick money or fast money or boom or bust gambling bullshit. I'd rather do some dumbass shit or whatever else the LLCs and
They want to go against the grain. They want to go against the grain for everything, and then complain about how hard shit is and how fucked up shit is. Some shit is just easy. You can do it the easy way. And,
you know
and
what's
you,
crazy? Buddy, who was the dude earlier that was like, was it the I can't remember his name, but the dude that came in earlier that was like, oh well, the police are a gang, so he was guilty by association. And when you say, so take his mentality, right? And then you got these guys where you just said, like, you from these communities and shit like that, you should go be a police officer. So instead of just terrorizing your community as a gang in the community, why not just go join the police gang and actually do stuff for your community?
they don't
Sometimes
want to
you
do
get
that.
free Chick-fil-A.
Because
I
they
mean,
would talk.
I'm
They would
just
talk.
saying.
Don't trust the police. F the police. All that about the
Why?
police. But
And
then when
why?
it's in trouble, they call the police.
I'm just saying. So if we go equate the police to, you know, some BDs or something, why not just go be a police officer? Because at least you got the law protecting your gang activities.
You got a 401k.
You got
You actually have
401k or
power.
retirement. You got some life insurance. You got some health insurance, some dental
You
insurance.
got the court
You know what I'm
protecting
saying? I'm just saying, you get a free
That's too
car.
like right. It's
You
too
get a
like
free-
right.
I'm just
But
saying,
Benny,
if police are a gang, right? That's what we gonna compare them to the BDs and the GDs, all that shit. Why not? Why? So it sounds like, because when you go join them other niggas, all you gonna do is end up in the dirt or getting your butt took in jail. So why
But
not?
you get glorified.
Right,
You
like,
get glorified for the other gangs, and they commit crimes on the daily.
and you get qualified immunity, so you can just do shit and say it's the police. I'm just saying.
They don't aspire for real power, because at the end of the day, all that street shit, you still weak as fuck, as you cower like a fucking bitch in the night when you see a white man with a badge. Like
That's
this
why-
like that one dude who was just up here.
And that's why that Mook dude talking about, I get scared when the police show up. Cause
Right. Bitch ass.
Doing some shit you ain't supposed to do.
that's what
Right.
I
Bitch ass.
Y'all be scared of them white folk, bruh. Y'all be scared
You
of
know
them white
shit.
folk.
My shit so legit. I wish
Praise your white daddy.
my shit legit as shit. Nigga, please. I ain't scared of no fucking. They weak.
Look, I'll say this.
Just saying that with so much fervor, as if
Conviction.
like
And
like,
conviction.
like yeah, like nigga, you sound weak as shit, and you really standing on it.
Look, I'm glad there's other police officers in here.
Every black man gets scared when the police show up.
That's not always true.
I don't
There's
give
a
a
lot
fuck
of
what a
emotion
white nigga
behind it.
wearing.
Yeah.
I'll be quick. How you doing? Good day, officer. How are you?
Never better, brother. Never better.
Right, like,
Cop pulled up to me and
across the
talking shit
country-
about my football team.
Billy,
He pulled up to me and talking shit
I
about my football team.
drive across the country for fucking work. Like, I ain't been in no small town. Like, white people don't scare me. Like this whole mentality. That's why I be saying, like, niggas, they don't realize how weak they be sounding. White people don't scare me. Like, not at all.
You know, but that's the same mentality that they had when we talk about, like, making something out of yourself, right? The easy part is choosing that street shit, right?
Hey,
You ain't got to do that.
Why do people associate police officers with only white people? I live out here in California. I'm gonna tell you, it's Mexicans and black folks. It's even Asian people working in the hood. I mean,
They
seeing a white
associate-
police officer is very rare. Is
They
that
associate-
is that an East Coast thing? Or
No, they're
down south
associated
thing?
with white folks because they have a self-inferiority complex themselves. They feel inferior next to white people. So anything that is in a superior role, they automatically will put a white person in that role mentally, because they feel that they are the inferior in every aspect of their life. That's why they shake and quake and quiver like this weak nigga who's just up here talking about, oh, every black man is scared of. No.
what's
We-
crazy?
I wanted to get on and talk to Mook. I wanted to talk to Mook so bad that dude was all over the
It
place.
wasn't no
I wanted to say this, man. Like, one of the things I think a lot of people just need to reverb, and especially cases like this, is case law. I was in the comments, man. Like, Tennessee versus Gardner gives a police officer the right to pew. I'm gonna try and be careful on these words.
Yeah.
To pew, fleeing felons who pose a threat to the community, to that person or the community. And I mean, there's so
Right.
many, yeah,
That
so
involves
many
reading.
different
They
case
don't
laws.
Right.
There's so much
They're
information
not gonna
out
read.
here.
Hold on.
It's
I
so
And
got
that's
much
all you got to
information
do.
out here, man, that people just don't want to read. What's wrong with it? Just read it. The Constitution is there. Case law is there. Policy procedure is there.
I
Oh,
got
you're right.
Read this
That
shit.
trial is starting right now, and I hope they all get thrown under the jail.
them
Lyric.
boys up in Memphis, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. In Tennessee, when
So,
they
That's
beat
big
that,
facts, though,
they
Lyric.
beat that man to death, and then they lied about why they arrested him. Yeah, I hope that they all get thrown under the jail, even the one that's testifying against the other cops. They all, man, no, they wilding. No, they all doing the most.
but to the, it's funny how they like, oh well, the white police, the white police. But my partner, the one that was on earlier, C3, he was like, bro. Now mind you, he in Atlanta, nothing but overwhelming majority of black police officers.
Black men.
He was like, bro, I can pull a chick over and mind you, expired license, tags, and all type of shit, just all fucked up, right? And he was like, man, they will argue. He was like, bro, black people. And he was like, bro, I be trying to give them a break. He was like, they'll argue, they'll raise hell. Nah, nigga, you fuck, da, da, da. He was like, so he'll be like, call your sergeant. So his sergeant pulled up. Sergeant's white. And he was like, bro, my sergeant, and he be like, bro, he gonna tell y'all the same thing I just said. And he was like, the white sergeant will pull up and he'll say verbatim the exact thing he just told him. And this, yes, officer, thank you, sir. Well, he was just being aggressive with me because, you know,
That YT fear.
and he was like, but they'll fall in line and they'll yes sir when that white officer show up. But then turn around and got so much to say about white officers this, white officers that, but them the only ones they show respect to.
They feel inferior to white, period. They have a self-inferiority complex. That's exactly what it is, Benny. Like, they would rather believe an uncredentialed white person than a black man with credentials.
Lolo.
I got a story similar to that, but I don't think I could talk about it because it hasn't gone to trial yet. But yeah,
But yeah, he was like, bro, that shit happens all the time. He was like, I literally can say something. And he was like, man, I'll be respectful. I'm just trying. He was like, half time, I'll be trying to give them a break. But they'll argue, they'll fuss, they'll raise hell, cuss me out. He was like, so I just call my sergeant. He'll come and tell them the exact same thing. And they'd be, yes, sir, officer. Well, he was just being rude and he was just big black and ugly.
Yeah.
That's why I wear my body camera everywhere. I wear my body camera everywhere. You can't tell me nothing. Now I replay. I got two cameras.
Yeah.
One that I keep on all the time for court purposes, and I got another one that if a person want to,
boy,
say
I
this
wish
or
I had
say
a body
that,
cam.
the violations, I'll go right back. I say, here you go. This is this is your violation. This is what you did.
Absolutely.
It's not hard.
I had somebody. Everybody know. Like, I used to. I pretty much do finance for like car dealerships and shit like that. Like, I used to be a manager of a dealership, all that shit. Had a motherfucker who is supposed to be somebody who's an associate, an acquaintance, call me, ask me questions about how to get them car. I'm telling them what to do. This black motherfucker arguing. They arguing against me. I'm telling them what to do. They're arguing against me. I say, you know what? Fuck it. Go ahead. Listen to that white motherfucker. Listen to that white. And when I looked over his paper, he said, man, look at the deal. I looked over the paper where he got fucked. Completely fucked. When I'm the person who actually knows you, and you don't want to listen to, we have a problem.
We do.
We don't trust the police and we don't trust our own. That's the problem.
One of the I saw in the comment, man. Somebody said something about being trigger happy in this. I could say this, man. 18 years. I'm going on about 27 years, law enforcement period, and I can honestly say, man, like in just one day. The other brothers in here, law enforcement can probably contest to this, but in just one day, you come across a couple hundred different people in one day. So if you multiply that for every single police officer in this country, law enforcement come across thousands, millions of people a day. And so when a shooting happens, that percentage is so low as far as the amount of people that are contacted daily, positive or negative. The percentages are so low. Like in an 8-hour shift, if you just look at an 8 to 10 hour shift, the amount of calls that you get, the amount of people you contact, the amount of people that you talk to, and you multiply that by the thousands of officers that are in, that are on duty, and then you get one shooting for that day in the country, man, like I don't know. That's
The
it's
shooting percentage is
mind
extremely
boggling to
low.
me.
Like,
It's
and it's
extremely
nobody
low, but
else's
it's
job.
just
It's nobody else's job to make accommodations for your ass. Like,
Yeah,
just
at
follow
that
the
part.
fucking rules and procedures, y'all.
That
It's
part.
not hard, y'all. We gotta quit
right.
with that.
Yeah. Hey, when I
I
make
just,
stops, and I go to calls, I immediately I say, listen, I'm trying to go home tonight. I got dinner plans with my wife. So whatever energy you trying to play, I got the same energy. I'm gonna match your energy. So what are we doing? How we gonna start this?
bro.
I'm gonna match your energy. How
I
we
said
gonna
this
start
shit
this?
earlier, bro. A lot of people, a lot of our people, your children's the first person that's ever held them accountable shouldn't be a judge or a police officer. The first
That part.
person to discipline, like the first person to really do, like, you know what I'm saying, put
I'm
your
gonna put that
child
on a
feet to the
t-shirt.
fire shouldn't be somebody out there in them streets. Like, and
I'm
that's
gonna put
why,
that on a t-shirt, fam. For real.
right, and that's why I think a lot of our issues come from is because I'm not gonna sit here and harp about the police and all this shit when we gotta fix our shit, right? And they can say that's cool or
Exactly.
whatever the case may be. I'm like, but at the end of the day, we gotta address
They're gonna say you deflecting.
we gotta clean up
Look,
our
I
house,
say it
bro.
all the time. Like, I cannot, I go to a call, I can't fix a 13, 14, 15-year-old problem in 15 minutes.
You can't, bro. You
This
can't.
is a 15, 17, this is an 18-year-old problem. However old that child is, that I'll say that age. This is a 27-year-old problem that I'm not going to be able to fix in the 10, 15, 30 minutes that I'm going to be on this call.
Right.
This is an issue.
Yeah,
If you don't discipline your children at home, you cannot be mad when a stranger does it in public.
because they turn everything, because what that does is it takes everything and escalates it. Every issue with your child will now be an escalated issue. You can have, like, how often has a police officer tried to interact with a person, and then also here come their girlfriend run across. Now she
Mm-hmm.
shut your ass up, sit the fuck down, get the fuck up out of here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now here she
Mm-hmm.
comes. Like, she, like, it's a problem. They're a problem.
You
Are
get.
you a lawyer?
I
Then get
stop.
out of the way.
Yeah, I stop kids. I've stopped kids on just the same thing with stolen vehicles, breaking into houses, whatever the case is, and you get mommy or mommy, even sometimes daddy roll up. Don't talk to my child like that. While my child in handcuffs, they just broke into this house. They beat this old lady up. They stole this car. They did this. Nah, not my child. I'm like, well, I got video. This is the victim right here. Like
Witness
the
statements,
fingerprint,
DNA.
witnesses, DNA. Everybody is like, he did it. Junior did it. Not my child. Hell yeah, yes, your child did
No,
it.
it's your
Yeah,
child. But I mean, I understand because when you see your child in that situation, you still think about how they were when they was little and sweet and innocent. But that's not them anymore. They off now making
exactly.
their
Look.
own decisions,
Mhm.
just doing stupid
Just like
stuff.
we say with them white kids who unalive whole theaters and schools and shit. Where the fuck was
Yeah.
you at when June got all this ammunition in his room? Like, he got all that shit.
Mhm.
So you mean to tell me where the fuck was you don't know
We
what your
say the
kid
same
into?
thing to them. What up with
Like,
the parents at? Where were the parents at? That's the
Where are the
same question.
parents?
yeah, like, you don't know what your kid
But
into.
sometimes,
Accountability,
You ain't
man.
never
I
been
was
in
like,
his room.
sometimes they don't know. It's because the parents buy them the guns. The parents will buy
Yeah.
them the gun, or they'll buy the gun and give it to them, and that's how they
Mhm.
got it. They ain't illegally buy it. No, some of
Right.
them people, no, they bought it themselves.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah,
Kyle
and
Rittenhouse,
then we gotta
17
and
years
then people
The
old.
need to
parents bought them that
quit
gun.
acting like
Yep.
people need to quit acting like giving a human being, no matter the age, a gun, a weapon, no matter what it is, it's going to create a like, it's like an itch to use it. It's like you know what I'm saying? They're going to
Exactly.
be more inclined, they're
It
excited
is.
about it. I want to
A
use
gun
it.
is a very
You know what I'm
powerful
saying?
thing.
Like, it's like a
especially
toy.
especially when they said when all they seen is movies, TV shows, video games, like people who
And they hold the shit from the side. Nigga, that ain't how
people
you shoot no gun.
people who had to
Yeah.
use this shit
For real.
for real, like in real life situations,
They have
you're
respect
not
for it.
you're not ready to
Mhm.
just take a life. Is
But
is not
it's a
something.
thing is,
Because you got
it's
discipline and you understand
easy
the
to
power
see
that
that
comes with it.
exactly. You get that pucker factor when somebody starts shooting back at you.
That too. A lot of people it's different. Everybody that's why everybody be like what they would have did, what they should have did. It's different when them rounds start coming back at you.
Yep, a
Yeah.
whole different
People
feeling.
people don't want to accept the truth. The truth is, a lot of the times the kids be into that shit because it's exciting. It's exciting.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
they get an
It's for the
adrenaline
thrill of
rush.
it. Yes, it's for the
Like
thrill. That's why
it's a
most of them. That's
thrill.
why
It's
But
a
I
most of
don't
them.
think they
thrill. Yeah.
understand you can't respawn like in the video games and the
Right.
movies you watch. Like
Right.
I don't think they get that
They don't know
concept.
that
They
That's
till
not
it's
don't
too
the
late.
right.
concept.
They don't
They
know that
think
till it's
because
too
they've
late.
been taught that they could do what the fuck they want to do and just get off. That's not the way life
Hey
works.
fellas, I gotta get going. It's my day off.
Oh
Meeting the
yeah.
wife for lunch, fellas. Hey, you guys stay up, stay
And y'all enjoy
positive,
lunch,
mad
brother.
love, mad respect to you.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Hey man, you be safe out there,
Be
man.
safe, brother. Enjoy your lunch,
May
bro.
all your traffic lights
You
be
guys too.
green.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Like
they think that they respawn, like they gonna come back from the gulag, like they Call of Duty or GTA or something, and it's like, and they don't. I was talking to this about I was talking to my partner about this yesterday. Crazy, because it's the one that we was talking about teachers. And my partner Blackhead came on, and he started talking about these kids and shit, right? And he was like, bruh, these kids now, he was like, man, it's different. He's like, I don't want to sound like that old nigga, but he was like, these kids are different. It's like they don't believe, or they don't he's like, they don't believe that it can be them. Like they don't understand that,
It's
like,
called invincibility complex.
right. He was
Yeah.
like, he's like, they
I was
don't,
just about to say that. Good shit.
but like, he was like, man, like, of course, teenagers as a whole, like, he was like, we don't that type of shit too. But, you know, like, oh, I can't be tough. But he was like, but it's different with these kids because, like, we felt that way, but deep down, like, we knew that there could be consequences to our actions, or, like, you know, shit was serious, but we just thought we were, like, above it, right? But he was like, with these young kids, he was like, they don't fear shit.
right.
They don't believe that. Cause he was like, man, it's like because he was like, think about it. Outside of TV and movies, we didn't really see death like that. Just like you could, he was like, bro, these kids have been exposed to this shit since they was
That's it.
5 years old. He was like, they could go on Twitter and see a nigga just get popped. You know what I'm saying? He was like, we didn't have that type of shit. It was TV shows and movies, and you knew it was TV shows and movies. He's like, these motherfuckers get on YouTube, they get on Twitter, and he was like, so they don't even register that that's real life.
Mm-hmm.
So they take that mentality and that ideology into the real world, and when it's combined with the fact that they've never been held accountable, they don't believe in consequences to their actions, and you add the fact that, and then he was like, a lot of what they've seen has been through a screen. These kids aren't living life like we did. They don't go outside. They don't have real interaction. So they're not getting into these situations like we did when we was 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, and we saw shit and we knew, like, bro, I don't need to do this shit no more. I don't need to do this. They're not seeing or they're not experiencing that shit. And when they are, it's through a screen, it's through a phone screen with some nigga that's in LA or Ohio or some shit, right? And so he was like, from what he see, he was like, I don't know how to explain it, but he was like, it's weird because then it shows up when they go out in real life and they just do. He was like, they just do shit.
Yeah, Benny, it's because
It's the idolization.
they are different. Like people need to realize this is the first generation ever in the history of human civilization that has had the internet and social media from the day they were born. Like, you know what I'm
Consumption,
saying?
yeah.
They are different. They are a case study that is in the works. We will write papers about this generation for decades to come. You know what I'm saying? We are looking at what are the effects of this. So we're all living in this situation as it's happening. They are different. And people don't want to accept that the
Chad,
becoming desensitized to the situation don't mean that the consequences are any less.
And it's like they don't have. It's like. And then he was like, bro, with their conflict resolution, he was like, it's all or nothing with these young niggas. He was
cash
like,
out or nothing.
back when we was growing up, you said something about somebody's mama, you got punched in your shit. You know what I'm saying? You try to slap your girl booty at the playground or something, her brothers come beat your ass. He was like, bro, now it's like they either don't interact, and then when they finally do, they pulling out their stick.
Bitch,
It's no escalation. It's no like, oh, we gonna joke on each other, we gonna joss on each other, we gonna fight, we gonna scrap, or we gonna push and shove. It's like, bro, it's like they walk around with AirPods or they just pulling that stick on each other.
that's because they don't value life. Like their generation, like our generation as millennials, we're the first generation ever in history that has made less than our parents did. Since the United States history, every generation has progressively made more than their parents, which means that we made less than our parents. So now our children are poorer than we were when we were growing up. We can't even give, as a generation, we can't give our kids the same shit that we had when we were kids. So now you have kids that didn't get the vacations, the family vacations. They didn't go down south. They didn't date. Their world exists in their little bubble, and that's it. They really see shit on like their phones and shit, but that shit ain't real to them. They don't know that life is actually worth living. They don't know that life actually is wonderful and beautiful. They think it's all stress and drama and you know what I'm saying? Like that life is fucked up. So
But you
of
know
course
what's
they willing
crazy
to
though?
just give it up. They don't give a fuck
You know
about
what's
it.
crazy though? I'm gonna give you a story, Chad. So just recently, my kids had to write a paper on who they admire and why they admire them. Right?
Mm.
It's these group of gentlemen in my class. They all had the same answers on their paper. They all said King Von because he killed niggas.
Oh my God, bro. Are you serious?
I'm not making this
That
up, bro.
says a lot.
And that
When
does
I
say a
called
lot,
the
and it's
parent,
bad.
when I called the parent, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, your student is talking about they admire this person because they blah blah blah. I think we should have a sit down about it." And the parent was like, "Why the fuck you need to sit down with me? Did you not hear what your kid just said? They idolize
King
a
Von.
killer
Right.
because he's a killer. Like that is
Yeah. They
crazy
don't
work."
value life. They really think
You
that
know, you,
life ain't
you
worth
know
You
what?
know
living.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. Cause we was
And everybody
like,
thinking I'm
shit.
cap, but it's crazy though because the comments are like, "I'm cap, bro. I'm an educator. Kids say
That,
this
It's
shit
true.
that's
every day.
wild.
Bro,
Because
Kids say
sometimes
this
it's
shit
the
every
parent.
day."
they ain't
Yes.
even
And
do
that's why
this.
we say it's the parents.
They ain't
Because the
even
parents think
do
it's cute.
like they skip like damn. They ain't even do the new usual LeBron James or Steph
Right.
Curry
Right. No, they just
or
go straight to whoever's
King
killing.
Von.
Yes. And you know what? I heard that too. Because like I said, I do school activities. I just finished working in high school out here, man. That's exactly how these kids be, man. That's who they look up to now. Because that's all they know. I said I can break down 4, 5 different people, mainly because they're historical black people that have contributed to society directly to you right now, and you won't even know. It's because you're not educated, man. You worried about all these people you see on Instagram that's going around with all the guns and the ski masks on in the middle of the summertime. Like you stay out here. You out where I'm at. You can see it right now when June and July come around. You're gonna see these kids out here in full track suits, full Nike track suit, 98 degrees outside with a shiesty on.
Yeah. They don't even
Nike Techs and Nike Techs and fucking shiesties is what you
but they
see all
don't
throughout
realize.
school, bro.
But you know
All
what? You
all
know
throughout the
what?
school, bro.
If we speak to that, oh, you cooning because a kid should be able to wear what he want to wear, but it's like, yeah, he should, but why the fuck are you in 100? Especially in Dallas. I seen the shit in Dallas when I
Right.
went back home, and we went out to Dallas to go eat and shit. It's now y'all know how hot the
Hey,
fuck it is in fucking Texas, middle of the summer, 110 degrees.
oh,
You got on a
hey.
fucking some sweat, a big ass sweats, track pants and shit, and a shiesty with a hoodie. What the fuck? But but then when I see you roaming around, you know what I'm saying, like the parking lot or something and shit, I'm not supposed to look at you crazy. I'm not supposed to be on P's and Q's. I'm just supposed to be like, oh, that's nothing.
Right.
Oh, that's nothing. Like, nigga, what?
Right.
Now I'm a civilian, military or whatever, but still, I'm a civilian, and I'm looking at you, and I'm on P's and Q's. Now, what the fuck the police supposed to do?
They don't want to live in the real world, Benny. Like, and it's they don't even accept that these kids ain't hard. They depressed. You nigga, you don't give a fuck about life. You depressed. That's why you willing to crash out because you don't think life worth living. You ain't got nobody that want to see you come home. That's your problem. You're depressed. You think you hard, nigga. You don't have nobody that actually care about your presence.
Shit, some of them do. That's the crazy part.
Some of them
But
do. But if you crashing out and you don't give a fuck about nothing, nigga, you not hard. all that hard shit, you not hard. You depressed, motherfucker. Cause at the end of the day, when you loved, motherfucker, I'm not gonna do shit. I couldn't imagine my mama burying me. That's never gonna fucking happen. She
Right.
can't handle that. That's one thing that's never gonna fucking happen. So I'm gonna make sure that I do what the fuck I need to do. Cause I'm never gonna put my mama through that. But you, on the other hand,
Facts.
how can you say you love your mama? You gonna put her through that shit? Do
That
right.
part.
Yeah.
Either you don't love her or she don't love you. It is what the fuck it is.
What's the solution? The solution. It's a long road till we
Hold on,
get
hold
to the
on,
true
hold on, hold
solution.
on, hold on, T. Go ahead, Mark. You there, Mark?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
What you got, bro?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Good fella.
So I want to just say a few things real quick. I've been doing law enforcement for over 20 years. And 10 of that was military law enforcement. So I'm going to I preface with that.
Shout out, Mark.
Yeah,
When it
nah, fuck
comes
them MPs.
when it comes to the
Chill, just chill.
Nah, go
but
ahead,
when it
man.
comes to the authority of police, I study criminology. When it comes to the authority of the police comes from the consent and the respect of the communities they serve. Incidents like this happens because they've eroded at that trust from the community. There's always going to be more civilians than police officers. So it takes the police officers gaining and continuously earning the trust of the people so they can then be entrusted to enforce laws upon them. This wouldn't have happened if they had that establishment in the first place. Secondly, now that I do work in civilian law enforcement, um, it's night and day. The training, the level of training. You already know because you're a prior Marine. When you're in country deployed, you have to have positive identification before you even begin to actually return fire on somebody. You have to, in addition to having positive identification, in most rules of engagement, they got to be firing up on you first. They don't have that standard. And that's something that we should definitely implement in the civilian world because a lot of these incidents would not be even happening. I mean, firing on someone because you believe they have a weapon and saying, I want to go home, that's some soft shit. That just is. That's some soft shit. The
What?
standard should be positive identification. And then, okay, if they're firing on you, cool, you have gear, you have armor. Utilize your armor and your tactics, and then return fire if fired upon. That's some soft shit, and I'm tired of it.
Raise your kids.
I'm
I
just
agree.
tired of it. I'm just saying.
What I will say is converse like so on deployments and shit, doing like hitting the wrong target or persons can inspire an international incident. So I will say the
Yep.
states are completely like I'll say the states where we're in country or CONUS is a little different than like, a police officer. Because you hit the wrong target.
Oh yeah, that's combat, and we have a higher
Right.
standard. We
So
have a
you
higher
can't make
standard
an
in
equal
combat,
comparison.
and we got to lower our standards in our own country. We have to treat actual terrorists better than we treat our own
Well,
civilians
I
at this
wouldn't
point.
say treat
They
them.
have to fire at us first.
Again, like I said, I wouldn't say that we treat them better. I would say that you have to be more reluctant to just start pulling. But we do have situations and cases where motherfuckers was out there just pulling. And we first went into Fallujah and shit, niggas was just pulling. You know what I'm saying? But I will say,
Yeah, I was in Balad.
it is a little different because again, you could spark international incident and like, you know what I'm saying? Like just when because you got other allies that may be out. It's a lot
You
that
got
goes
you got
into
you got
real
more
combat.
things. You got more factors. You got language barriers. You
Yeah,
got culture. Like, come on now.
it is a little different. I would say that it's a lot different. Because
Doing
like
that overseas and start another war, pretty much.
well, yeah, but like I said, there's
I'm
so
just
many
saying.
other factors in. Like I said, you could do. There's friendly fire involved. There, like even like calling airstrikes and shit like that. You need to have communication. Yeah, even just calling arty. You know what I'm saying? Calling in artillery. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot that goes into actual combat that requires somebody like to have like why we have our rules of engagement and shit like that. why there's multiple steps before you can just fire off on motherfuckers in country.
Right. You haven't verified, like, first of all, like you say, they have to verify identity and all that stuff. They verified identity when they pulled you over and saw your license. Y'all don't have that opportunity in the military. Like, so there's going to be other
No, no,
steps
no.
there.
It's called positive identification, not
Right, right,
verified.
right.
Positive
Identification verifies that,
means
but I'm
that
saying
you
I'm not in the
honestly
military.
know that that's a weapon first.
What I'm saying is,
Yeah,
it's
positive
not the same
identification,
thing.
it
So, like,
involves
it's
you
literally we comparing
identifying the weapon
apples.
first, not
We're
just assuming
comparing
that it's
apples
there.
to rib tips. Apples to rib tips. Not related.
Actually, they take a lot of their training from us. These police departments take their training from us. They just don't have the same level of standard for us.
Not the
They
same
come on
level of
base all the
threat.
time. Come to our gun ranges all the time.
Right, but it's not the same level of threat. That's what I mean by these two things are not
In
the
fact, they
same.
get our gear. They get our old gear.
They're not the same whatsoever.
And it's
I
while
feel
it's
like
not the same, it should be a higher level of standard before you pull a trigger.
the difference between the military and the police is after all is said and done, the consequences. If you do something overseas, it's an international incident, and you're punished accordingly. Here in America, if you do that, there's literally no consequences. That's the biggest difference.
You dealing with a motherfucker who don't even speak your language.
Y'all don't think
Like,
they have
it's not
guns
the
on
same.
base? Y'all don't think they don't have crazy incidents on military bases in America? No, it
But
happens
again,
down in America,
Was on the
but
but
we
base where it
still
shouldn't
have a
happen.
but
higher
we're
level of
pulling
Because
standard
y'all remember
out
that Fort
even in
Hood shooting?
America.
we're pulling out hypotheticals of possibilities of all these exceptions and all, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's when
No,
we
this is no
really are
hypothetical.
deviating
On
from.
base, they've had shootings before.
Right. So an
Yeah,
on-base shooting, right, an on-base shooting
They have
compares
shootings on
to
base.
a traffic stop in the United States.
We have traffic stops off base too. We have a certain
but
zone limit in some of these installations that we have
I,
where we can
it's,
pull
it's,
people over off
it's,
base and also issue tickets just like civilian law enforcement.
it's different though, because we, number one, like when we're on base, you can't bring your weapons on base and stuff. Like there's a level of safety being an MP on the base.
And
Like
people do it all the time. And we still don't have as many incidents as the civilian authorities do. It's their level of training and then their apathy for that matter in standards for when they have to pull a trigger.
Or we could just teach our kids to just be different.
I mean,
Okay, but they just gave 30 meals to that chick that stormed the Capitol and got popped knowing she was doing wrong. It's not always about teaching your kids better. You can still ensure that the people enforcing laws are going to do better in spite of
Agreed.
what, because it's incumbent that people are going to do stupid stuff when you have this career. So no matter how well some community is taught, it is incumbent that you're going to come across crazy people, and it's your actions that make a difference, and their standards in the civilian world need to be upped.
The standards in the parenting world need to be up.
So we're just shifting blame here.
Or two things can be
Blame.
true.
We're
Two
not
things
shifting
can be
blame.
true though.
If I care about my kid coming home, I'm going to put my energy there into
So
the
if
little motherfucker in my house.
so, let
That's
me
where
ask
I'm
you
going to put my
something.
energy.
Let me ask you something, right? Let's say you take all your time to discipline your child, right? And your child does everything that you teach them, right? And in that one moment, they slip up. They don't do the right thing, because we're talking about a kid here, right? They don't do the right thing in that one situation. Is it because you're a bad parent, or is it because we need to up the police and have better standards for them?
You
It's
said in
neither.
that situation, they slip up, meaning they are at fault. They made a mistake. If they made a mistake, they're going to deal with the consequences of their mistake. They made a
But they
mistake.
don't. That's the issue in
You
America. They
said
don't.
you said my kid made a mistake. My kid's going to deal with the consequences. That's in your hypothetical situation. That's the answer. That you asked me a question.
So
It was a
how
mistake.
does that have to do with your parenting? Is your parenting bad? Is that, you
No,
get where I'm going here? Is it the
no.
parenting that's the
If
issue?
once my kid knows right from wrong, then they will deal with the consequences of their actions. The problem is a lot of these kids don't know right from wrong. Like they know right from wrong, but they don't know to shut the fuck up. They don't know the basics.
So
They don't even know the basics.
I think what he's saying
We're
is
not talking
it's
about catastrophic mistakes. I'm talking about our kids don't even know the basics. Stop arguing with authority. Stop
Okay.
like everything ain't an ego thing. Get your shit shut the fuck up.
I think what he's saying is you got to have that proper foundation.
Thousands of
Yes,
people stormed the
yes, people
Capitol.
go.
Thousands. And those Capitol Police have a federal standard.
That
And
don't have
only
nothing
one
to do with
person
the
was
kid
shot.
in my
You
house
can
that I
definitely change
actually
the
care
standards.
about.
They
I
knew
care
they
about the
was
kid in my
wrong.
house.
They knew they was wrong.
I care about the kid in my house. I can't raise my kid under the assumption that he deserves the grace that they got. I don't give a fuck about what they got. I
Facts.
care about the kid in my house.
So
Yeah,
1,000 people can storm the Capitol, and all
no,
you want to do is talk about parenting.
no. Those two different scenarios. That situation
Yeah,
with
I
Yeah,
those
was
people
like,
storming
you comparing apples to oranges right now.
that ain't
those people storming the Capitol were all completely 100% in the wrong. I had to respond to that situation. Of course, being from
They
3 hours
had
away,
weapons too.
yeah,
They had weapons too.
and I know,
and the federal agents would have started laying their ass out, I would not have felt bad.
I know.
Me
So the
either.
reason why, let me explain the situation from my understanding. The reason why they got that far to begin with is because they're not treated like all other buildings in DC. The national, yeah, buddy, the national building is treated like a park. It's not treated like if they decided to storm the White House, that's
No,
considered
that's
like
not
a
true.
military base.
Yeah,
The
that's not
national,
true.
it, what's not true?
That is not true.
What's not true?
The Capitol Police are all over that place, and they knew that they could not go in there. It's not a park. No, not
Well,
even
they let
close.
them. Okay, all right. I'm just letting you know from my understanding from what I learned when I was up there. All right, and on top of that, they denied help when they had the chance before it got bad to the way it got. They were asked by us and Metro Police, "Do you need help?" They said no. We can handle it. Obviously, they couldn't handle it, and then things got bad to the way it were, and then we had to respond. Even after when we arrived
And only
and everything
one
was over.
person got shot.
Because
Only
only
one person.
because only one
It,
person the only one person tried to push past Secret Service during that time to get somewhere where they wasn't gonna let them in at.
right. The
And then when
reason why
she
she
got
got
her ass
shot,
popped, when she
yeah,
got
All of
popped,
them
everybody
did.
else
All
backed
of
the
them
fuck
did.
up.
And they also killed officers.
they did
Again,
kill an officer. They did kill an officer, and several killed themselves later.
At that
Yes,
point, 3 officers were injured and 2 were dead.
yes, and yes, we all are in agreement that it was completely in the wrong. All those people should be rotting under a jail, but that's the political climate that we're in right now. That they all got off on pardons. The only thing I can say about that is go out and vote for the right person that should have taken care of that situation,
Right.
or for the
We're
people
really
listening, or for the people listening, you could maybe, I don't know, get yourself into politics yourself, or teach these kids that it is true they should go out there and get into politics and do something like that. And the reason why you said some cops in the Capitol building had to redirect the crowd in
but
the boat. You're right,
we're
that is
really
true.
but we're really supposed to look at people who got a presidential pardon as a rubric on how we should run as individual people of a black collective. Like
Right. And
apples
you
to
know what's
rib
funny?
tips and pork chops. This
It was
means
funny. I remember when we was all standing around at the area office waiting to figure out our orders. All the black troopers got in the corner. We was all looking at each other. And we all said the same thing. We said this wouldn't be happening if they was black. They would get shot.
no.
Said it. We all said it. Everybody said it. Everybody said the same thing. It would have been different if it was thousands of black people storming the building. Thousands. Stop screaming, man. My son likes to do that when people are talking. He tried to get in. I'm sorry. He's one.
We know that shit, bro. But that's
We
what
know, like,
like,
stop, man.
I
okay.
only I try to
Like it.
focus on what can we control. Everybody wants to get in their feelings and talk about hypotheticals and talk about this. There are a lot of black men who walk around every day and aren't phased by no police, aren't phased by no white folk, and we do what we supposed to do, and we maneuver and we navigate this shit, and we do the motherfucking thing. And instead of looking at us or other black men who navigate and do like when we talk about how we operate, how we move, how we navigate, how we do this shit, y'all say we sell it out, we cooning, we bootlicking, bootstrap, all that bullshit. When we telling you how to win at this shit, we know the game is rigged. We know how these white folks is. But y'all let them, ain't no white man, ain't no government, ain't none of these niggas ever stop me from doing what the fuck I'm supposed to do in this life. Now time. I don't cower. I don't shiver in my fucking boots when a white man walk up like, bro, my chest is up, my head is high, I speak, I am projecting my voice. If anything, I walk around like I'm better than them. Y'all walk around thinking that y'all are inferior to these motherfuckers, and then they're the sole reason why you suck at life. It's always like you should be able as a black man to understand, and we can even talk and discuss about the things we go through, about the things we experience, about our reality as black men. But like I've said before, are you speaking to the shit so you can have an excuse as to why you ain't got shit? Or are you speaking to the shit so we can learn how to move, navigate, and get what the fuck we want in this game, and then come back and bring our other brothers up and get this shit too? And a lot of y'all speak to this shit to have an excuse to why you suck at life versus how you can get this shit in life. And that's just what it is.
Preach.
People hit a double standard and just be like, well, it's out there, so I'm gonna just play it how I go. No, you
Yeah,
know,
bro, life is full of double standards.
yeah.
Being a fucking man, me being a tall black man, me being a tall black light skinned man with long hair and muscles. That like there are things that skinny girls can do that big girls can't do. Skinny girls can get in the club for pretty skinny girls can get in the club for free. They ain't gotta buy no
Victim
drink,
mentality.
gotta do shit. The big facially challenged girl gotta ride the coattail of that girl, and she's still probably not gonna get in the club free. That's why she gotta be the bodyguard for the pretty girls. Like life is full of double standards, bro. It's full of double standards. It is what it is. You either accept the reality and you navigate this shit, and you control what you control, and you navigate and you fix what you can fix, or you can just be a victim to this shit and complain all fucking day. Meanwhile, people like myself, we out here figuring it out. We get to the bag. We doing this, we doing that, living our best fucking life, and you still sitting in your rut complaining about the white man and a 3-letter organization all day.
Tell it. Life ain't hard for everybody. Like,
So can I ask you a question real
open book
quick?
test at this point.
Who that? But yeah, go ahead.
So like I agree with your statement altogether. That's all we can do. We can put our heads down, stop looking at everything as it being an issue, and just move forward. But then at what point after all this does that change for the majority instead of
because the majority ain't facing the issue that y'all think y'all have. This whole y'all not fighting white supremacy. Y'all not facing white supremacy. The issue that the majority of y'all are facing is your own laziness, self-inferiority, and you in your own way. That's the biggest problem. A lot of y'all are defeated before you even start. I'm just saying.
So like I feel as though that's a baseless claim.
It's not baseless at all.
Bubbles,
it's
are
not,
you black?
Yeah.
You sure?
It's not baseless at all.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm very serious. I mean, you don't have.
You want me to turn on the camera? 100% black man with dreads. Again, like you.
I'm just making sure.
5'11".
I'm just making.
Huh?
I'm just making sure.
You're the first person to ever question my race on TikTok. It's all good.
Well, it's the first one.
The point that I'm trying to make is I'm all for, like self-improvement and, picking yourself up by the bootstraps. But the thing is, overall, everything isn't going to change. And it's so easy to talk about how you can change your situation. Yes, you can, but we're not doing it overall as people. And the only way to change that is to change the structure in which we live.
The system has you victims of your own mind. Left Eye said it best. Like
how can a system that oppress listen to this, right?
You are living in a prison of your own making. If you believe that you're in this cage and you can't be set free.
And now listen here, right? If I'm an owner of a dog, right? The dog has to listen to me, right? I'm its owner, right? You listen to me, you follow what I do. I am oppressing the dog, right? There's no situation where that dog can say he's not Like like the mentality that he has is because he's not being oppressed. It's just his mentality. He's literally being oppressed.
Okay, and keep going. What's your point?
But
Because I'm not no
like the
dog.
point that I'm trying to make is
I'm not no
you're
dog.
saying we're playing
Apples to
the
rib
victim
tips to
mentality. We
Q-tips.
are the victims.
No.
We are the victims.
Apples to rib tips to Q-tips. That analogy was
Are
terrible.
you
I'm
accepting
not no
being the
fucking
victim? That's what
dog.
he's asking. He's asking, are you accepting the being a victim, or are you looking
No,
for a
I'm not
solution to no longer
accepting
being
that
the
I'm the
victim?
victim.
So
but
why
I
we
can't
talk
speak
about
for
being
I can't
victims?
speak for overall. Because
Why
then
we
now
talking
You
we're
about
really
being
make
ignoring
you
the
want some
history.
ribs for dinner.
Because then we're ignoring the history. We're ignoring the facts.
No, nobody.
It's
But
like
No,
that,
no,
and,
no.
we
and
never
you want to
ignored that
don't,
here,
don't
though.
mind the fact that we're in
That's what
cage.
you want to
No,
say.
no. Here you go.
You get what I'm saying? Let's ignore the fact that we're in the cage. Just shut up and do what you got to do.
So,
We're
Yeah,
not
I
in no
agree.
cage,
Do
nigga.
what we
I'm
got
not
to
in
do,
no
but we just
cage.
ignore the fact that we're in the cage.
That
So
cage exists
You're
in
in
your
the cage.
mind.
I'm not.
I ain't in no cage.
so
I don't feel as though I'm in a cage too, but overall,
You
when I
are.
Why would
look
you
around
say
at
it?
people, we are in a cage.
So why you
Because
say
I'm
it?
not going to ignore the overall fact. I'm not going to ignore the overall
So
facts.
just
That
like you
cage
got out of
exists
the
in your
cage,
mind.
can somebody else get out the cage?
I can get out of the cage. Everybody can get out of
So
the
You're
cage.
you're
in
not
it.
caged.
But
He
the
is.
fact
He's
is that even though I got outside of the cage, when I look back, my people are still in there.
You're defeated, and that's just that.
How am I defeated?
If you cannot see it, that's why.
what? So
Because because this is the thing. I was born in the projects, born in the ghetto. I own my own house. I own 3 cars. I have multiple businesses. I am successful,
what stops?
but I don't
So
feel
what?
oppressed.
So
And
what?
you're sitting up
At
here
the same
whining.
time, at the same time, with my success, I am not going to turn around and look at my people who weren't able to do what I was able to do and say, "Oh, you guys had the same opportunities that I did." I know that they're being oppressed. I
Oh
just was
God.
able to get through it.
Okay, the
So what?
survivor's
So what
remorse.
did you? So what did you do? So we all, because we all grew up around each other. We all grew up in the same environments, the same ghettos, the same hoods, with the same fucking stories.
Mhm.
What made you choose to be what you wanted to be versus choosing the street life?
So I made a choice to do what I wanted to do, and based off of my environment, I was able to avoid certain things.
No,
Like for
what
instance,
what
grew up in the
made,
projects, but
what made you
what
choose?
specifically?
Yes, like what? So what about your moral compass or knowing right from wrong, or like what made you say that life is not for me? I'm gonna try this way.
I think it's all circumstance.
No, it's not.
I can't
Projects. What you talking
pinpoint
about? Using the
specifically
project.
what's the thing. You don't, because I think it all matters. Everybody's situation is
It's
different,
not.
right? For instance, none of my parents.
But we all grew up in the same hoods, single mother. Wait, we all grew up in very, very similar situations. The same cage, right? What made you say, I don't want to be in this cage? Or what made you say that life, slanging on the corner, dealing and doing that street shit, that's not me. Now, not saying you knew you were gonna own 3 businesses, a house and cars and shit, but you knew that life wasn't for you. So what made you say, I'm gonna choose this route versus that route?
I think it's a matter. I think it's a matter of what you're exposed to.
Tell me what your situation, like what made you choose it then?
Okay, so I would have to say in my lifetime. So my mom signed me up for the Big Brother Big Sister program, and I had a big brother. He's one of my closest friends till this day. I saw that he was successful. I saw that he went to college, and I said, you know what? I want to do the same things that he did.
And so, okay.
And that was
So,
probably
so,
around the age of around
so your partner,
like 10, 11 years old.
so your peers, they didn't see people going to college. They didn't see that type of shit.
So just to give you another example, right? I have friends who joined gangs who, about that life, done bad things, done time in jail. Now the difference is their parents was on drugs when he was a kid. I'm pretty sure his household was not like my household.
Y'all was both in
He
the
had
projects.
a uncle
But there's people
who
with
introduced
similar
him to the
stories who
gang.
came out
Right. That's not.
great.
Yo, this is not.
You can't keep
unique.
using that excuse.
The point is everybody's situation is
You know what,
different,
Mr.
and I
Bubbles?
can't attribute my
It
success to
sounds
the
like you
overall.
are just somebody with survivor's remorse, and you have been beat down for actually making it so hard that you are making excuses for people who didn't make the choice that you made. You came from the same fucking environment, and according to you, they could have done the same shit as you. You making excuses for the same niggas who was talking about you while you was doing what the fuck
Okay,
you
here we
was
go.
doing.
Let me ask you something. Right? If we change the overall environment, right? Let's say our people didn't have to grow up the same. Let's say we didn't grow up with single moms and everything. Everybody grew in
Yeah,
two
yeah.
household families.
It ain't gonna change something. It ain't gonna change.
Do you think we'd be in the same
guy,
situation?
They've already
but
done papers and research on this.
bro, the son.
Wait.
The son of this man right here came from a 2-parent household, and he lived in a
100%.
decent neighborhood, had a good upbringing from all of what people have said.
100%.
Played
Young
sports,
Berg was
had
a
good
millionaire.
So what's
And
the excuse here? Then?
He's gonna
This is the
continue
exception
making
to the
them.
rule. You can't bring up one case and attribute it to all.
Wasn't there another case like a month or 2 months ago where the kid got caught in a drive-by
That's
shooting
gonna
because he
happen.
was
I have a
It's
cousin
not an
who
driving a
grew up
Tesla?
way better than me, and she
It's
does dumb
not an
shit.
exception
It
when
happens.
it's not an exception when you can go to any suburban high school and see black kids black boys behaving as if they're
What's a
from the
nice
hood.
what's a nice area by you? What's a nice area by you?
Any of them, Gwinnett. It
Okay,
don't matter.
where you
It
from?
doesn't matter. I'm from all over.
So like
That don't matter.
let's say for instance, all right, I grew up in New Jersey, right?
You're
I'm gonna
grasping
give you a
at
bad Newark, New Jersey is a bad
Newark,
area,
Newark,
right?
yeah, Newark.
Newark.
It's
Yeah, we
predominantly
know.
black. It's a bad neighborhood.
Right.
All right, y'all know Newark, right? Okay. So do y'all know New Brunswick?
Bubbles, turn
It
your
doesn't
camera
matter.
on. Turn your camera on, Bubbles.
You are trying so hard to fine tooth these excuses. We all been there, bruh. This shit ain't unique, special or nothing. We all from the hood. Like, show me a black person who don't know shit about the hood. You don't need to explain how it is in the hood. We get it.
So if you think we didn't grow up in the hood overall, if black people didn't grow up in the hood, you think we'd be the same way? Do you think we would have this conversation if we had financial literacy and wealth?
Absolutely, because you know why? It's a mentality. The projects is not a location. It is a mentality. The only difference between a project and a high
Why
rise
do we
luxury
have that
apartment,
mentality?
the only difference in the difference between a project and a high rise luxury apartment is the people living there. The floor plans are fucking identical. The place is the same. Like is the mentality. It's just the
tell me at what point in time did black people have
it is the same mentality.
financial literacy?
It is the same mentality that has beat you down for actually succeeding. You feel guilty because you did the shit right. So guilty.
I do not feel guilty at all.
Oh, you absolutely do. You making excuses after excuse after excuse for the same motherfuckers who was talking about you while you was doing what the fuck you was doing.
I'm just not going to talk down people who have not been able to do what I was able to do.
You could, but they could have. You ain't
because that's my sense.
nigga.
They could have 100. I agree with you 1,000%. But
you're not.
And you know what? I can look back and see the reasons why.
Y'all all using the projects. What are you talking about? Like, you ain't Superman. You didn't do some non-human strength something. You did something that any regular human from the projects could have done.
No. I did something that's extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult.
Oh God, here we go.
If it wasn't, here's the thing. If it wasn't, we would have more success.
Hold on. Yeah. Oh God, here we go. Can I interject? Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Because I hear a lot of the back and forth, and we want to act like, institutional racism is not real. I'm somebody that works within Department of Public Safety. I work with adjudicated juvenile males. The school to prison pipeline is a real thing. I think, and I'm somebody from the hood. I am from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. Okay, I think what I understand and what I realize, although interconnectedness, me having people in my life to show me certain things and to guide me in the show, I realized that some of my peers didn't have that. That's why I'm able to be a principal in a locked facility with a doctoral degree, while some of my friends were trafficking drugs or doing whatever. It was certain, of course, the influence promotes change. So the people that you have around you and the people that you are surrounded by and how you are raising your home, your first lesson starts in the home. It does not start in the school. It's through your parents. We have to realize the crack era did a number on the Black community. We are 2 and 3 generationals in of dealing with these damn crack babies who were not raised. A lot of these males that are raised by single mothers, They have a lack of emotional intelligence, so therefore they don't know how to deal with conflict resolution. They don't know how to deal with issues because they got too much of their mama ways. Because there is no male figure or anybody in the community that's positive. Killing is promoted everywhere we turn around, whether it's on the radio, whether it's what's on the TV. Like, we can't act like these things are not influential. And although, Chad, for you, it may have not affected your children, or it may not have even affected you, which is very much a great thing. But we do have to realize, as somebody who works for the Department of Public Safety, my main theory as it related to my own kids was I'm gonna beat my kids' ass versus the police beating their ass, or they in a correctional facility, or they in a jail somewhere. But when you
With
get
all due respect, ma'am, what I'm saying is, as a actual black man versus someone who just works with them, you can't really tell me how hard it is to be a black man.
you're right. I cannot tell you how hard it
And
is
if
to be a
I'm
black
telling
man.
you
But as
that
a
it is
mother,
not as hard as you are making it out to be,
as a mother
and
who
if
raised
I'm telling
male,
you as a black man that it is not as hard as you are making it out to be, you
I'm
cannot
not,
tell me that it is
sir.
actually harder.
Are you listening for comprehension, or are you listening for
Oh
rebuttal?
yes, I'm listening to you. You saying nothing revolutionary. I'm
What
listening
I'm
to everything
saying is what I'm saying is what's relative to you. Only what you know is relative to you. Just like only what I know is relative to me. That is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is everybody has faced obstacles in life. Some of us have had the gumption to overcome them, to get through them. We didn't get through them by ourselves. What I'm saying is a lot of people didn't have that support. So we can't just say, oh, because I did it, it's easy for everybody else to fucking do it.
Nobody's
That's
saying that.
everybody would be a brain shirt. That's how you're coming across. Now
That's
maybe
your
that my
perception.
That's exactly what I got from this
maybe my
conversation.
I know,
internalization.
Mr. Bubbles. I told you about you. I told you you
Survivor's
have
guilt.
survivor's remorse. I flat out said it with you.
So
That's what I
she's
said
not
about you.
lying. That's exactly what she's
No,
talking
no, no,
about.
no,
I
no,
do
no,
not
no.
have survivor's
Her
remorse.
situation
I
was
can
the
look
same.
back and see that people don't have the same opportunity as me.
You
Plain and
was a
simple.
boy in the projects. You didn't say that you came from this two-parent, but you was a kid in the projects. You wasn't.
Just because I'm a kid in the
projects.
projects doesn't mean that the other kids in the projects don't have it worse.
Boy, please. Okay, and bitches in Bangladesh ain't have shoes. Like, how far back are we gonna go?
There's a huge
It can
difference.
always get worse. Like that's no fuck. Like,
And Chad,
these
I'm in
excuses
agreement with
that
you.
y'all make.
I've never been a person to see the glass as
The
being half empty. I've always
weakness.
seen it as half full.
Y'all
and
be making
and
being
wanted
black
to
sound
internalize
so
what it is
weak.
that I need to do to fill it to the top. So
I
I'm not
ain't no
saying
weak
that,
black person.
and neither am I. But what I'm saying is I have enough empathy to understand that everybody is not like me.
In the world don't give a
Exactly.
shit. The world care about what the facts are. Like we could empathize, but that ain't gonna, like, y'all mad at me, but at the end of the time, your empathy ain't changing their situation either. It's actually keeping them where the fuck they at.
Neither is your neither is your
what
lack
you
of
can do,
empathy.
but at the end of the day, keeping them comfortable ain't gonna do shit. I don't really give a fuck. I'm going to tell you what the fuck it is as somebody who is black, who went through the same black shit that every other black person go through. This is what the fuck it is, and it don't gotta sound good to you.
You know every black person in the United States to know what it is that every black person has went through.
Are you, ma'am? Oh, ma'am, ma'am.
Because you're making blatant
are you being
statements.
facetious? No, because y'all want to
No,
say,
I'm not being
oh,
facetious.
systemic
I'm
racism and all
not.
that stuff. We're talking
I'm
about
not.
the same. I'm talking about the same people
Can I say
that you want to say
something?
these systemic issues apply to. Okay, been there, done that. Like, y'all act like this. You act like the system is stronger than your fucking will to do what the fuck you want to do with your own goddamn life. And if it is for you, that's your fault. But ain't nobody else gonna write my script but me. But that's your fault. You can live how the fuck you want to live, because at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck. But I'm telling you, you can wallow in that shit if you want to. You can wallow in that shit if you want to. Your life ain't gonna get no better, and nobody ain't gonna give no more fucks. It is what it is.
Why are you cursing? And my life is not.
Ma'am, I curse all the time. This is who I am.
My life is not bad, and I'm trying to change.
I never said your life was.
One
I never
juvenile
said
at
your.
a time. But
I know your life is not bad. You have a master's degree. You've already said these things. You're a principal. You're a key holder.
What I'm trying to explain to you also, you do have to also realize, you keep talking about parenting, raise your child. That in some states, you beat your child ass, or you lay a hand on your child, they're knocking at your door. Ask me how I know, because they knocked on mine. And the only reason why it wasn't and it didn't become an issue is because I worked for the North Carolina Department of Public Safety. And the officer that came to my door said, ma'am, I'm a parent too, I understand. But if you teaching kids from age kindergarten, oh, your parents are not supposed to discipline you. Your parents are not. So we're actually taking power away from some of these parents who want to discipline their kids. And
But some
sometimes
parents
it may be
discipline,
difficult.
but some parents don't resort to corporal punishment to discipline their kids.
I
So
said physical. I didn't say corporal. There's a
I said
difference between
corporal
right, and there's
punishment,
a
meaning
difference.
physical, like no, everybody don't whoop their
There's a
kids.
difference between beating your child ass to cause severe damage and just popping your kid.
Everybody don't whoop their kids. That's all we gonna say.
I'm a bring this in because so what is so hard about these because I know y'all talking about young black boys because I know y'all ain't talking about the little girls. What is so difficult, or what do y'all believe is so hard for them to? Because y'all speak as if these kids don't know what the fuck they doing. That's number one.
Yeah,
Like,
they know.
what is so hard? Because I've had educators come up, I've had law enforcement come up, but specifically I had an entire live of black educators, specifically black male educators, come up and speak to the mentality of these children who are here every day dealing with y'all's children. And these kids know right from wrong. They know better, right? But y'all speak about these young boys as if they don't have the ability to make a choice, as if the big bad white man boogeyman is in the background just pulling them like little puppet strings, and that they don't have the ability or the option to make a choice between being in the streets or working at Chick-fil-A, between being in the streets or applying themselves to education, from being in the streets to or just being a regular kid. Like, why do y'all make it sound like it's just so challenging for these young boys to just not be in the streets? Like, I would love to hear what you have to say towards that.
My question is, why do they have to have these
Answer the
obstacles?
question.
That's the thing.
Don't answer my question with another question.
I can tell you for me, just from the line of work that I do, as I said, a lot of it is these mamas. You got a lot of mothers raising male children, and these mothers lack emotional intelligence. So therefore, what are you teaching your child? What is your child seeing every day?
Can I say something? Or go ahead, Benny. Go ahead.
What does the mother? So are the mothers telling these boys to go to the streets?
Can I speak on that?
That boy
Can I
ain't
speak on
listening
that?
to that mama. I tell you right now.
Can I speak on that? Can I
The
speak
least
on that?
influential person is his mama.
Let us.
I want to speak on what she just said about mothers.
I only can speak on what I can only speak on for what I see, and this is not all mothers, right? I have some kids who come through my facility, which is a jail. No matter what's the term or what's the spin you want to put on it, it's a jail. Very few of them. Some of them come from two-family households. Some of them come from a household where they have a mother who's working and they're doing the right thing. But some of them, their mothers are aiding and abetting the BS.
But I'm saying the mother is the least influential person, because let me tell you, he don't want to be no fucking woman. He wants to be a fucking man. He not looking at her at all. He looking at these niggas on the street. He's looking at the niggas. He's looking at the niggas that he sees. He's not looking at her.
Hold on, Chad. So these young, see, this is what I don't like about how y'all describe the projects, the hood, the boroughs, whatever your state, city calls them. Y'all describe the hood like we didn't all grow up in these places. Like we did. Like there are mechanics in the hood. There are teachers in the hood. There are lawn servicemen in the hood. There are men that work, like men and women that work at the post office. There are regular people with real jobs and regular everyday jobs that work in the hood, that live in the hood. So to sit here and act like they don't see good examples of people, that's a bit disingenuous.
I'm not saying that at all, but we do understand in human development.
But you said they're not seeing examples, but
for a
Okay,
lot of the examples that they're seeing is like he said, they'll run once you become a teenager, your family is no longer at a certain point, at a certain your family is no longer
it's
your
not a
focal
okay.
point.
So that's what I'm saying. Y'all talk about the black experience like we all weren't doing. We all went to church. We all grew up in the church for the most part. We all so you like there we all went to school. You had black teachers. You had black administration.
Oh, I went to Catholic
So
school.
why do we act like they don't see examples? Now you might not see CEOs or lawyers or shit like, but you see positive examples of working class people who are just.
But is that promoted? This is what I'm saying. As a society, what is being promoted to the youth? Is it promoted for you to stay in school, or is it promoted for what do we see? Or is it promoted for you to be a YN or whatever they want to call it, or however they choose to? What is being promoted?
Even if it was promoted, they still have to make the choice.
Right.
We can promote all day, but if they're not gonna make that choice, if they care more about what their partners think than what the police or the lawyers or the
So does a YT kid have to make that
Correct.
choice? Does a YT kid have to make that same choice?
Yes, they do. They can grow up to be white trash. What are you talking about? Y'all act like white people grow up to be like they so fucking good.
A YT kid
They grow up to be just as trash. They grow up to be trash. You act like white trash don't exist.
No,
act like it don't exist.
Hold on, before we keep going back and forth. Can I say something?
Nobody is talking about
good environment.
Hold on. Go ahead. Let me let I can't go and then Bria, you go. Go ahead, I can't because you want to respond real quick to Dawn about mothers.
Yes. So what she was saying about the mothers, I disagree with, because it's not always the mother. I raised both of my kids. I have a boy and a girl, and I grew my kids was in a stern home, but at a certain age, kids do have a choice on whether they want to go the right way that we teach them or the wrong way. And just like you said, it's about what they see out in the streets. If you could sit there and you could talk to them and tell they blue in the face, hey, don't go do this, that don't mean they're not going to do it. So even with the kids to the day these days, is kids having kids, and that's the issue. When you have young kids having kids, they're not gonna be able to teach their kids how to be respectful or be a good citizen or whatever, because they out doing bad shit they themselves. So it's not always the parent. You can raise your kid up to be the best of the best, but once they turn 18, they're gonna choose what they want to do at the end of the day. So it ain't about just a single mother.
So Don, you work but and this is kind of what I was getting to earlier. Mm-hmm. By the time you see these kids, that's too late.
Oh, I'm definitely in agreement with you, and I'm not saying that it's all to the lady that just spoke, and I'm not saying that it's all mothers, because I was raised by a young mother who had me, got pregnant at 16, had me at 17, was a teenage mother. So, but at the same time, my mother had support. My mother had the support of her mother. There were people on my block who, if I did something wrong, they were able to discipline me or tell me right from wrong without my mother ready to fight or jump in somebody's face or get in somebody's ass, because they was talking to their kid or redirecting.
So we don't have that anymore, though. We don't have that anymore.
But Don, there are women who have
we don't have that anymore.
And they turned out.
Hold on. So with that being said, what does systemic racism and the school to prison pipeline and the crack, what does that have to do if we can't, as a community, can't even police our someone else's children? Because at this point, all these systems that we talk, the oppressive systems that we're speaking about, are literally just taking advantage of what we don't do culturally.
That's my that's my point.
But there's a reason why we can't do that culturally at the moment. There are a lot of economic, environmental issues that causes for it not to be the same as it was.
Okay, so Don, all those women who had the same opportunities that you had that turned out worse than you, why?
Anybody can have the opportunities, but
I said Don.
I don't really. All of my friends who I basically grew up with. We all are in. They're in
All y'all ain't
nursing
turn out
or
good, girl. All y'all ain't turn out good.
no. I'm saying majority of us who were that was my friend group. Most of us are in nursing, education. One of my friends on a funeral home. So pretty much
Right, but
like
the ones that didn't, the ones who had the same opportunities that you had in the same
okay,
environment,
can
who
I
went
explain? Can
worse?
I explain something
Why?
to you, Chad?
Why?
There was left for me and my friend group. It was you had friends that you may hang. There was left for me and my friend group. It was you had friends that you may hang out with that you may go to the club with, and that was your club friend. You might have a friend that you go shopping with, and we didn't hang out with those. You may go to the club with, and that was your club friend. You might have a friend that you go shopping with, and we didn't hang out with those people who were boosted.
The ones who
And
had the
those are the
same thing
ones
that you
who, and
had,
those are
and
the
Okay,
they
ones who
grew
can I
up.
didn't,
ask you
and
a
those are the
question? You're
ones who
talking to
grew up
Dom, but
to
can I
not do
answer it?
well.
What is the difference? Y'all had the same things, but they did not turn out like you and your
It's like a
friends and your group
basketball
and all.
team. Everybody don't get picked for the same
A
position,
lot of
sir.
it, a lot of right, and not only
Say
that,
that.
everybody. It's sometimes it's the choices that you made. Now I am
We're
a person
saying
that the
that's
choice,
all.
yeah, but
Choice. That's all we're
right,
saying.
but what I'm saying is, for my friend whose mother was a crackhead, and she didn't know when she was going to eat and had to come over to my house to eat certain shit, for her wasn't a choice. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you.
Okay, and there are people
Environmental
who,
That
and there are
wasn't a
people
choice
circumstances
who.
that
for
cause
her.
for people to make different choices, even though they're presented with the same opportunity, sir. So you can't sit here and say,
Having gone through shit don't make you special or unique. Everybody got a story. That don't make you
first,
special.
it's not
Give
about
us give
making
a
you special or
microphone to
unique.
in,
It's about it.
give a micro. Everybody been through shit. That don't mean
Yes,
nothing.
it do. It determines where it
No,
is.
it
It
don't.
determines where it is that you
No,
land. Everybody
everybody
that been
been through
What
some
I'm saying
shit.
to you is, yes,
everybody that has
everybody
been
been
through
through shit,
something
but
don't
everybody don't know
land
how to pull
in a
Everybody
good
been
themselves
through
up
spot.
shit.
out of that shit. Everybody does not know how
Y'all
to
have
pull
this
themselves
thinking
up
that
out of that
your
shit.
story, your struggle is more special than the next bitch, and it don't work like that.
Hold on,
Everybody
I'm
been
Chad.
through
not,
the same
Y'all,
no,
wait a
thing.
Chad,
minute.
you're
Wait a
missing the
minute.
point.
Wait a
What I'm
minute.
saying is, if you're a child and your parents are drug addicts and you don't know where your next meal is gonna come from or how you gonna get it or how you gonna whatever, is that your fault?
Don't matter what
If
choice you
you
make in
start
that scenario.
boosting and you start boosting and you
Y'all,
start doing this
So
and you
where,
start just to
so my
survive,
y'all.
is
question
that your
is,
choice?
where is she
That's
at
your
now?
You're
Do
choice.
you still speak with
y'all
her?
y'all make
Did
excuses,
she
not
become
even knowing what the next
successful?
person who you're arguing against what the fuck their story was. Like y'all
First of all,
act
that
like
You
She
started
did,
breaking
because
up
eventually
there.
she went to jail.
that
She did
again.
programs in jail. She
Answer Chad's question if y'all allow me to
Yeah,
talk.
go ahead, bro.
Can you mute everybody, please, including Chad? Can you just mute everybody,
I got
please, respectfully? No disrespect to nobody.
you. I got you.
Thank you, appreciate it. So y'all speaking based off of your job fields. Okay, so I am a counselor. I got my degree in psychology, so I have a BS in psychology. I've worked in the mental health field. I've worked with young people, including adults. I've done suicide, homicide, dual programs, like people who like on drugs, things like that. I've worked in the rehab. I've also worked on the suicide hotline, talking to people that are suicidal, homicidal. So to answer Chad's, I have a lot I want to say, even including about the Rodney guy. To answer Chad's question, since this is the main topic right now, everybody do have a choice. Everyone has a choice. Everybody has an option. Granted, everybody has different lives. Everybody option is not the same. Everybody choices is not the same. The mind is a powerful thing. You don't know that until you put into a situation. You have different lobes of the brain that we have to study when we was in school. So when something tragic happens in somebody's life, you don't know where the mind is going to take you. So with the Rodney guy, he had a son who was killed, police officer. Granted, he went out. The kid did, did what he did. That's a different topic. Rodney went out, did what he did. That's a different topic. But what I'm saying is, when you don't have control over your brain, over your mind, it can take you to a different place that you don't know is going to take you. You don't know until you're put in that situation. I don't talk to me. My youngest patient that I had was 5 years old. The 5 year old was suicidal at 5 years old. What would you say? What would a 5 year old know about suicide? But it's the mind, it's the brain. It goes deeper than what y'all say. Y'all talk about, oh, it's the mother. The mother didn't do this. Fathers wasn't around. It's deeper than that, because we're talking about the brain, something that we don't really have control over until you put in a situation like that. The mind can trigger when you in a tragic, because I feel like I'm going all over the place, but let me just say this. When something tragically happened to you, say for instance, you're close to your mother, your parents died. We all know that time is going to come if it hasn't already. You don't know what place or how your mindset is going to be until that happens. And that's something that you may not have control over. That's why you go see a doctor, psychiatrist, they put you on these pills, they give you coping strategies, coping skills. So it's a lot deeper than that. It's easy for Chad to say, well, how many of y'all have siblings? Y'all in the same household, mom, dad, they taught you rules, they told you this, y'all was all raised the same, but does not mean that y'all all going to make the same choices. Some kids going to turn out bad, some kids going to turn out good. You know why? Because we do not have the same mindset. We do not have the same brain stimulations. So it's deeper than what y'all saying. No, go ahead.
But so it's like, are we gonna chop? So like, are we gonna chop every bad decision somebody makes?
No. That's not what I'm saying.
But,
So every bad.
That's what I'm saying. You. As far as like the Rodney situation,
So with that situation, what I'm saying is, until you lose a child, you don't know where your mind is going to take you.
Plenty
That's
of
what
people
I'm saying.
lose
I'm not
children.
saying. Hold on, Chad. Wait a minute.
I'm
not saying. Wait a minute, Chad. I'm not saying that Rodney was wrong. I'm not saying he was right, because I never been in a situation. I can't say, he's wrong for that. I can't say he's right for that, because for one, I don't have kids. I never lost a child. So I can't put myself in somebody's shoes that I've never been in before. That's what I'm saying.
And I just want to say this real quick, right? In regards to the brain and why it is that people do different things, it's like vehicles, right? A vehicle is a vehicle. A vehicle has the same what you want to call it.
You cannot compare the mind to a vehicle.
Listen to what not just catch the end, and then maybe you'll get where I'm coming from, right? All the vehicles have the same goal, which is what? To drive to get people from point A to point B. All of them run on the same basis, right? But you got different motors in these vehicles. All these vehicles got different colors. They got different sizes and bolts and nuts and seats and colors of seats and all this, that, and the third, right? But it all got what? The same foundation, which is to move from point A to point B. But for somehow you got a variety and a bunch of different variables that cause specifically for each one of these cars to perform however it is that they decide to perform. Now that's where it is that I compare it to the brain. It's because depending on I want to call it the emotional chemistry, the chemistry on how the brain was wired based on how a person grew up and what it is that they felt specifically and how it is that trauma affected their genealogy, because everybody is affected differently. They may react the same in some way, but it is uniquely different due to the fact that everybody got a different fingerprint. So there is something uniquely different about every single one of us. So anytime it is that we're presented with anything, we're going to react differently. So you cannot say that even though that we have the choice to drive from point A to point B, you can't say where we're driving. You can't say how slow we're driving, at what miles per hour it is that we're driving, because there is something on that vehicle that makes it perform the way it's performing, which is the same with people. Whatever it is that happened to them and how it is that they digest it is going to regurgitate how it is that they perform in life. And that is not always good for every human being. It ain't going to go out like that.
Is that the end that we caught?
I'm not understanding that.
But I'll say this, and I did this on purpose. And ladies, this is no shade, but to the people who've been here since this live started, when it was almost 700 people in here, you notice how the conversation shifted once I start letting a lot of the ladies up. We start getting a lot of this empathy and this compassion and this understanding. But when I had the fellas up, it was, look, bro, this is this and that. Now, ladies, I want y'all to understand, like, y'all say that, and then this trickles into a lot of the issues y'all have about men and these conversations we have about men.
I think you're getting me wrong, because I'm not saying with the Rodney. I didn't say he was right. I didn't say he was wrong.
Hold on. And it's this is why men, the good men y'all talk about, just shut the fuck up and we sit back. Because when we talk about man shit, and like as black men, how a lot of these excuses and things y'all talk about is what it is, excuses and bullshit. It's we get this pushback on how we supposed to understand, and it's the system, and it's this and this and that. And we're telling y'all, as black men who grew up around these very same black men, who play sports with these very same black men, we're in the classrooms with these very same, like we in these same hoods, projects, environments, and we're telling y'all, this is what the fuck is going on in their brains. This is what they're doing. This is what they're choosing to do. It's cars and brain chemistry and all this shit. And it's like, and y'all wonder why the fellas just be quiet.
Then you saying the same thing I just said, literally.
So I have a question. You really think that it's that black and white? You don't think it's no gray area at all?
No, look,
Bria, you might have that sentiment, but when you came in, you started with systemic oppression, racial, like you started with.
Same thing about race. I talked about the mind. Same thing about race. I never said anything about race. I talked about when I came in, I said, speaking to adults and kids, black and white. So that's why I never put a race in it, because I talk to black and white people. What I'm saying is, what y'all saying is right. I'm agreeing to what y'all saying about everybody has a choice. I agree with Chad. I said everybody do have a choice. You can be raised by, you can live in a house. You and Chad could be brothers. Say y'all brothers. And y'all was raised by the same parents. Y'all went by the same rules. Your parent had structure in the house, home, authority, all of that. But the choices that you and Chad may have been different choices. And it has nothing to do because y'all was both brought up the same way. Y'all both had structure, both had a mother and father.
Right, it's choice.
But y'all made different choices in life. And
that's what we're saying.
Right, that's why I say the same thing I said. But what I'm saying is, and it's because the Chad initial question was, why do they make that choice? He was asking Don that. I was answering his question.
My bad. I got you mixed up with Don. My fault. I apologize.
I was answering Chad's question from Don. I say that because if you and Chad are brothers, y'all come from the same household, same structure, same rules, all of that, but y'all make different choices in life. Different choices in life. That's because y'all brain and y'all continent and y'all brain is different. That's the point I was trying to make. I was trying to say it's deeper than that. I was really answering Chad's questions from Don.
Right. Well, the deeper point is that it seems like as a collective, whenever we get the other woman side of it, female side, with the added elements of the empathy and all these other things, it seems as if, and now you see how I have to pick my words very carefully. It seems as if y'all have the preconceived notion that all people are good and some niggas is just ain't shit. Some niggas is just like everybody ain't good. There are bad people.
That's true.
Like there are people who are just ain't gonna be shit. They're gonna be shit. There are people who are bad people. So it's a choice. So it has nothing to do with all these things, all these lifelines y'all are throwing. Some motherfuckers is what they is.
But Chad, so and I agree with you with that, because like I said, I've worked with people that were suicidal. Not to cut you off, my apologies. But I've worked with people that were suicidal, homicidal, schizophrenic, bipolar. I worked with all of that people. I've worked with them in a rehab.
But those are actual like people with medical diagnoses. So I wouldn't compare them.
Right. That's an actual.
That's true. But what I'm saying is, I'm just pretty much going back off what he's saying about the choice thing. The choice is because their mindset, their mind. I'm not going to think how Chad thinks. Chad is not going to think how I think. We're not going to think how Benny thinks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everybody thinks differently because our brain is wired differently.
And all we're saying is where you end up is where the fuck you chose to be.
And I'm saying not in all cases. Most cases, yes, I do agree with you. The choice that you make is the consequence and follow behind it. But sometimes that life, you don't choose that life. That life chooses you.
Oh no, the life don't choose you.
No, I'm telling you I'm telling you. No, and I'm explaining to you why I'm not going to tell you something without breaking it down. And we can't agree to disagree.
You can just say it. You can just say it. I know the brain stuff, all of that.
No, I'm not. It's not about brain. I want to.
I'm all right, but you can just say it. You can just get to it.
So when you come from, what I'm going to say is, and this is me speaking from experience, because we all from the hood. I'm from Oakland, California. So just to let y'all know, I'm from Oakland. So the streets in Oakland is a little different. You don't choose the streets sometimes. Sometimes it chooses you. It's either a get down or a lay down type of situation, especially if you is a product of that environment. If you come from a long life of OGs, that's all you know. That's all you used to. You don't see different. I had this conversation with my niece. My niece just turned
But
18.
ma'am, none of us are raised in a vacuum. No human being is raised in a vacuum. You see things, you say, you know what, them niggas is lame. I don't want to be them.
That's what I'm trying to explain to you. You're
Right,
saying,
that's a
listen,
choice.
when I say a get down or lay down, you're making a choice from your life. Everybody's life is different. From your
Ma'am,
life,
you don't know
you
what my life
made a
was.
choice. Let me talk, Chad.
Everybody makes a choice.
Everybody has not everybody has a choice. What I'm saying to you is some situations where it's a situation where you get down or you lay down. And that's real life. It doesn't
lay down as in what? I just want to make sure I'm clear because
I don't want to sound know how TikTok goes with this band stuff.
well, like they gonna you either get on in the click or they gonna end your life.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes, I have seen that. Yes. I have seen that. I have witnessed that. I've seen that with family
But
members. I've seen that where
is that
people.
esoteric example representative of the Black collective of the issue that we are discussing currently? The issue that currently plagues Black men in majority. It's like we use these esoteric, hypothetical, niggathetical, all these exceptions, all like that does not. We're not talking about anything is possible. I could make up anything and say this is what's happening. That's not like that's not what affects the majority. Do you think the majority of Black men
Well,
out here
sometimes we're not talking about the
I
majority.
don't know.
No, we're always talking about the
But
majority.
everybody's not the majority.
We're always talking about the majority.
I don't know. I ain't heard of that.
We're talking about the collective. Right, we're talking about the collective. We're not talking about every individual possibility out there. And like we're not doing that. We're staying on the collective, the thing that affects the most people, the things that's going to be most impactful to create change. Why are we focused on that esoteric situation when that is going to change what? 13 people.
I don't know. That's
Those 13 people matter, FYI. But anyway, I had a
Okay.
So do y'all believe the gentleman on the prompt was right or wrong? Because I didn't get to hear from the man's perspective, so I'm just trying to see.
He was wrong.
Yeah,
Y'all think he was wrong?
He was wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, he was wrong. He was wrong.
Can you break down?
Can
you break down to me why you believe it was wrong?
Yes, because number one, he thought about that. He made a conscious choice that he was going to do this. He left his wife out on the streets to starve while he goes into prison. If he has any other children, those children will starve on the street while he goes to prison. He killed a person who had nothing to do with it. It was just a random person. A random cop who just has a fucking job. It's just a fucking job. He killed that person. And then for what? You are not going to, you asked me to explain. You don't have any freaking power. You're going to be a prisoner in their prison. They're going to make your life hell for the rest of your days. And you did it for nothing.
Right. Okay. Just so I'm clear, I just want a little clarification because from what I heard, right, I could be wrong because I was watching the news, but from what I saw on the news is that the gentleman unalived the officer that unalived his child.
Okay,
that's what I saw.
What news channel
he made a choice to forego his commitment to the rest of the people in his life because he was mad. As a man, that's where.
Okay, so
because as a man, you don't do that.
That's your perception, and I'll give it to you there. But I just want to give you another side of the perception because I know you're not going to change your mind because I see you're very adamant about how it is that you
hold on,
about
gorgeous.
it.
Hold on, gorgeous. What news outlet did you read that he got the actual cop that did his
right?
Right. You know what I'm saying? It's everywhere. It's on all the social media.
What viable news outlet?
Okay, so it's not a viable news outlet. I haven't I've seen it on everybody's
I didn't want to argue that. I knew that.
On all the social media clips I see, the headlines read.
I would implore you to actually read viable news outlets and to get a
Okay,
better.
that's fine. That is the reason why I asked to clarify, because the way it is that I based my perception on how it is that I perceive the situation, and my judgment was based off of them stating that the young sir that you're talking about only unalived the officer that unalived his son. Now, from that perception, I don't deem him bad. I think that is a man that
Okay, stop. So we've presented to you that you are reading TikTok, Twitter, whatever, Facebook, wrong misinformation. So at that point, the perception you had should be gone because
but it's really not. If you would have allowed me to finish, you would have gotten to
but you
see the
have the
basis
wrong
of my
information.
perception. Whether he, but the point is the small variable of whether the cop was that who unalived his son or not, that still wouldn't change my perception based off, because it is factual. If just to be clear that an officer did unalive his son, right?
The process of committing a crime. Yeah, keep going.
Right. So okay, now let me verify again. It was also stated that the officer said that he had a pew pew, but the young sir didn't have a pew pew. Is that correct?
See, but that's what I said. That's why you got to stop.
I'm asking, can you just educate me instead of trying to chastise me? We're conversating. I'm not a
It's
child.
not chastising because you didn't.
So just correct me and say what it is, and you don't have to be like yo. Just say yes or no. Is that right or is that not right?
I've already corrected you, and you said your stance still does not change.
First of all, I said because of that one variable. So is that right or not right? Did the young sir not have a pew pew or didn't have a pew pew?
He had a pew pew, ma'am. He's committing a crime, ma'am.
He had a weapon with extended magazine.
All right.
Did he point or did he not? That is still up for debate, and the investigation will have to go through with that. But the fact is, they were in a stolen vehicle. They got out, started running. He had a firearm and an extra extended magazine on his person.
Okay. Well,
and the cop that his father took out had nothing to do, wasn't even in the same department. He was working a college graduation, directing traffic.
and so until it is that I can figure out if that gun was, if the pew pew was pointed at the officer or not, that would be the only variable that would change my perception on the situation. If the child was not a threat, it was unnecessary force.
So you agree, or you're in agreement or acceptance that a innocent person was a consequence of his fellow officer that he didn't even fucking know, because another cop took the life of this young man's son.
They operate as a family, so.
Okay, so do you have any family members that are in law enforcement?
Yes.
And are they close to you, like father, brother, cousin, uncle?
Yes.
Which one?
I have several. I have a cousin. I have a stepfather. I have a.
So if that man directing traffic was your stepfather, would you say, "Oh, it's just what it is. You guilty by association. It is what it is, stepdad"?
No. Again, like if I'm I am going to be emotional, but I understand what comes along.
I didn't ask all that. If that was your stepfather or your cousin who you love dearly, and they had nothing to do with that young man his life being taken away, and some random crazed hurt father ran your daddy or your stepdaddy, slapped the fuck over, and he was directing Easter Bunny traffic during the Easter egg hunt, would you be like, it is what it is, stepdad? You shouldn't have been a police. You was guilty by association. Yes or no?
No, I wouldn't have said what it is that you said, but I definitely would have accepted that that's what comes along with the job.
If that's how you feel, I feel for your stepfather.
Well, you can feel for
so Benny and Chad, let me
put in that position. You quit the job.
And I would love to hear your mother's response to what you just said.
So Benny and Chad, let me just say this because
hold on. I would love to hear your mother's response, and I would love to hear your step sibling's response to what you just said right there. I would love to hear that. They probably slap the shit out of you.
Because of his job, the job that is providing for your family.
They probably slapped the shit out of her. I hope her step siblings are watching this. She
Right.
must
He
not
deserved.
like her stepdaddy. Bria, yeah, come back up.
No,
She
she was just
don't like her
trying to.
stepdaddy.
She was just trying to not be wrong.
She
So
don't
she
like
was
her.
willing to. She
Either
was willing
that
to
or
say some ignorant shit to
she
not
don't
be
like
wrong.
that nigga. She wanted him to go a long time ago anyway.
So,
She probably still mad. He told her she couldn't go to the movies.
So, Benny and Chad, like I say, because you was having me confused with Don, but it's cool. But what I'm hearing y'all say is, and y'all both can correct me if I'm wrong, because like I say, in my field, I have to listen. That's part of my job. So if I'm hearing y'all correctly, y'all both saying that basically y'all feel like the Rodney dude, he reacted off of emotion because of what happened, and because of the emotion that he reacted off of is what caused him to be in this place, which is why y'all saying that he's in the wrong. Am I correct?
Correct. He's wrong.
For me, I am saying he is wrong because if he would have took out the cop that did the action, I would have chopped it up and said, "Hey, bro,"
I agree with that.
but he did not.
Right.
So if taking out a random officer who had wasn't even in the same department, he was a sheriff.
Right.
That has nothing to do with a sheriff is completely different than city police. He had nothing to do with that situation. That is wrong.
Right.
If he would have turned into Taken and he would have hunted down the very same cop that did it, I wouldn't have. I would say, "Hey, bro, it is what it is."
But that's why it's pussy though, because he took out the least threatening cop, directing traffic, nigga.
Right.
You ain't want to go get one of these narco cops.
Exactly.
No detective.
Now I do agree with Benny and Chad on that. But I wanted y'all to see it from a different standpoint, because I do see it from how y'all seen it. He went out and he did this on emotion, which is that it was impulse. He acted on impulse, which is a lot of us, we do that sometimes. But I wanted y'all to see it from a different standpoint. That's the reason why I'm not going to say he was right or wrong. Now, was he wrong for killing somebody, an innocent person? Yes. But I can't say that, because until you put into that situation, until you lose a child, you really don't know.
I get what you said.
All I'm saying, hold on, Chad, I'm gonna let y'all talk. Listen, give me 1 second. I'm going to say, until you put in that situation, you really don't know what you're going to do. It's easy for me to say, well, if it was if it was my child, I'm gonna do this, or I would have did this and I would have done that. It's easy for me to say that on the outside looking in, but until that happens in your mind, that's what I'm trying to explain to y'all. Doing psychology, studying the brain, learning the brain, I had to do scientific studies on the brain. Because I didn't know this until I did it. I didn't know the brain is a powerful thing. That's why they say when you're brain dead, you're basically dead, because the brain.
Hold on, because the same way you say the brain can be a powerful thing, that means that the brain can be just as powerful to not succumb to some random ass chemical reaction in your head and make an impulsive decision. Like we have we that's the point of being a human, right? Like we have a conscience, right? We should have a moral compass that allows us, or should allow us, to overcome our impulsive instinctual reactions to things. Like we talk about this all the time when we talk about men and what they may do to women, or things like men having to control their natural instinct, right? But in this situation, does that not apply?
Well, I'm not really applying to men. When I'm speaking, I'm speaking from people in general. I've worked with kids. I've worked with adults.
All of this explanation would not have even been given. If we had agreed with him, you would not even give us this long, drawn out brain explanation.
No, I'm not. No.
You would not have. And then also,
I'm saying,
the thing that separates.
I'm not saying y'all wrong for saying that.
Right, but you wouldn't even be giving us all of this if we had just agreed with it. And then also, the thing that separates from beef.
Your phone breaking up.
You going in and out, man.
Okay, I just want.
The difference between man and beast is the ability to have rational thought. We are not. We are y'all literally saying that a human man should forego his ability to make a rational decision because of his impulses, because of
That's
his
not what I'm
emotions,
saying.
his feelings.
That's not what
We
I'm
are
saying.
humans.
I feel like, Chad, I feel like you want me to say something I'm not going to say. I never said that you
I
were
don't want you
wrong.
to say
No, I don't
anything.
think
I
that. I
never
think it's
said Benny
just.
was wrong.
I
I,
think.
I,
I
I
think
never
it's
said
Hey, you
because
that.
you're
know
trying
what?
to use the reasoning of, the mind is so in control, but we're also in control of our mind to a certain extent.
No, we're not. To a certain
And
extent,
I
we're
think
not.
that it
Until
was
you worked in
wrong,
that.
and it was from an emotional perspective. It was emotional reaction, and it still being an emotional reaction was still a choice. And not only was it an emotional reaction, but it was an ignorant one too, because it was the wrong person. And
Right.
so it's still an emotional response when it's in this case, and it's still an emotional response when we talk about men assaulting or abusing women. It's still wrong. And that's all that I came here to say. Two things can be true. Some people cannot be in control of their mind, and some people can not be in control of their mind and still make a wrong choice. It was still wrong.
Well, that stands for the
And
cop.
that's
That
it.
stands for the
Thank you.
cop also. The cop made the wrong decision, and
Right.
the
That's
father made the
Absolutely.
wrong
what I was
decision.
saying. I'm not
Absolutely.
saying
I
nobody's
agree
Yeah,
with
wrong or
that.
right.
yeah. That's saying that. See, too dumb. See,
But I agree with
both
that too.
that wouldn't have happened. That wouldn't have happened if
This is
the
the
cop
problem.
would have made a better decision. The boy was shot in his back, man. Come on,
No, I agree
running
with that too.
away.
But
Y'all,
if he's going to
this is
make
the
that
So
problem.
emotional
let's be
response,
We
real
already
about
covered
this.
he
He
this.
should
made
have
it.
done it and done the right
He made the
person.
wrong
The
decision.
this is the problem. Y'all think that the world gotta make sense in your the way you rationalize shit is wrong, and
You
that's
was
not the
just,
way the
bro. You
world
was just
is. It
rationalizing it,
only
bro.
makes sense. That's
You've
not
been
the way the
rationalized
world
with the cop.
is.
You've
That's
been
not the way the
rationalized what the
world
dude did
is.
to the
Y'all think
cop,
that the
bro.
world need
Come on, man.
this version of reality that you have been taught is not real.
We've already had multiple officers, black police officers, come up and state the actual law and policy as to how that boy was legally wrong and that cop was justifiably able to take him out.
And I was here for that. And I was here for that
Right.
conversation.
So
And
this stuff,
basically,
He legally wrong. How was he legally wrong?
because basically with the cops, because I was here for that conversation, so I'll go back and go
Okay.
back to what they said to explain to y'all. And Benny, correct me if I'm wrong. So basically, the two cops that came up, they were basically saying that when you if you're a felon, when you have a gun on you, we all know that in most states guns are not legal. So if you already have a gun on you and then you're already in a stolen car, which is two crimes that you're committed at once, having a gun and being in a car, and even though the police shot him with his hand, shot him, behind his back because he was running away, fleeing the scene. It's not stated that the boy was pointing a gun at him. It's not stated that the boy was shooting at him, but he did have a gun on him. He was running away. They're saying even though we
He
know
was
that
running
it's not, even
on
though
him.
we hold on, Miss Ray, I'm just going back to what the police had said. The people that was up here, they were saying that pretty much even though we looking at it and we know, oh, it's not right, you shot him with his back turned and stuff like that, but as police officers, they don't look at it. The law is not made for us. They're not looking at it like that.
He was
They're
running
looking
with a ma'am. He was running with
I
a
said that
he
he
was
was
a he
running
was
with
a
a gun in
threat
his
to public
hand.
safety. The reason why, baby, I need you to get he was public safety. The reason why he was
Your phone breaking
justifiably
up.
shot because he was running with a gun. He could have run with that gun into a neighborhood. He could have run with that gun anywhere. He could have carjacked somebody else. That is why he was legally shot, because he was running with
But
a gun.
be
He
on
knows what he
Chad,
was
you need to
gun.
going to
They
calm
don't
do.
down.
That is
gun.
You're so emotional. It's making it difficult to receive what you're
emotional.
trying
Girl,
to
I've been like this the
say.
whole
Yeah,
time. Ain't nobody emotional. This is just who
I
I
know you've been
am. This is
emotional
was
this
who I
whole
am. Am I
time.
unshown.
emotional? Like, God, y'all you just soft, girl. Be quiet.
okay. So to the officers that came up and spoke to the actual law, that officer was justified, and he was not shot in his back. He was shot in his chest and his arm. There were two wounds in his chest and his arm. Uh, they I forgot what it was. I forgot what case law they spoke to. It was Tennessee something. And if you are, and they call it a felon response, and they was a felon response due to the fact that they stole a vehicle, and that is a felony. So when they respond to said call, it is a felony response, which allows them to have deadly force. Then on top of that, he took off running, so that's another crime being committed, and he may have legally been able to carry the firearm. However, you are running away from the police during a felony stop of a stolen vehicle. and you have it in your hand and you are running away. Y'all act as if somebody cannot run and do this at the same time. Now, it has yet to be determined by the video footage, camera, whatever, if he pointed or not. That is not what I have said. I have not been arguing that at all. But you are running away from the police after committing a felony of stealing a vehicle with extended clips on you. That officer has a couple of seconds to determine whether you are a threat or not, which you are because you have a weapon on you.
That's no reason to unalive no one, though.
You can say
That's
that.
not a reason.
You can say that, but if that's the case, go put your boots on, strap up, and you go police your neighborhood.
He could have just pulled over.
He could have did
He
that.
could have just pulled over.
You can say it's not a death sentence. So I mean, like we're not like y'all are taking instances of like Tamir Rice, Trayvon. Y'all are taking instances of actual black people being innocent and applying it to someone actually doing something. And those are two different mentalities to apply. And you can call it bootlicking, whatever the case you want to call it. He like
right.
You don't get to do shit and then dictate the reaction or the response of the people that you did shit to.
Right. Now if he was running with that gun and came up on you in your car with your kid and your baby in the back and popped both of y'all, dragged y'all out, hopped in the car, and kept going.
So what video shows where he had a gun? Is there a video showing where he
That's
had it?
already confirmed.
Where
That's
you
already
actually
confirmed. That
see
means
the
you're
gun?
entering into a conversation
Okay,
in which
hold
you are
on,
not informed about. That has already been confirmed.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking the question, Chad. That's
You
why
don't.
I asked.
This is the time to already have the information.
No, I want to know if you've seen a video with the kid actually having a gun in his hand.
Ma'am.
That's
Yes. Sorry, it's already been confirmed. We
Have
covered
you
that.
seen it?
We've already covered. Yes, we've confirmed. We've already confirmed that. We're
Because the video I seen,
not
I
on
didn't see
ABC.
that. That's why I'm saying that. Because the video that I seen, I didn't see
The
that.
video,
But either way it go, I feel
video they
like it
released is
wasn't.
only.
He
But like
shouldn't
you
have.
said, either
It
way it
shouldn't have
goes, so
been
it don't
deadly
matter.
force.
The,
No,
the,
it
There's no
shouldn't have been a
So like you
deadly
said, either way it
force.
goes, so it don't matter.
the only video
Logically, it doesn't matter.
the only video that I believe they have released.
Confrontational, Chad.
The only video that I believe is circulating is like the 6 or 8 second clip when the cop gets out the car and he's running between the trash cans to the dumpsters toward the tree line. That's not enough video footage. They haven't released the full body cam, so that's not enough footage to say he had it or he did. All we could go off of what multiple news outlets, including local Cincinnati news outlets, have reported, which is they said police have said he pointed. It has not been confirmed that it has been pointed or not. What has been confirmed is that he had a weapon on him and he had extended magazines. That is what.
That's what I heard too, Ho. That's what I heard.
That's what we're saying. That's it. That's all we're basing our decision on. That's all I'm saying. That we already know. He had that on him. And if he's running with that on him, who's to say that is why he was a threat to public safety? Because he could have used that to carjack somebody else. He could have used that to do anything. He's running. He's in desperation.
Yeah.
My answer would.
That is the threat to public safety. That is why they.
My answer would remain the same because a father is in jail for the rest of his life. His wife is without a protector. His other children, if he has any, are without a father. And another random cop who had nothing to do with his family is without a father and a protector, all because of the dumbass choice of a young boy. So my answer would not change because, again, we're not talking about a young boy who was just eating Skittles walking down the street, fishing on the side of the street at a pond, and a Karen called the police on. This is not that situation. These niggas stole a car. So it's like, had this 18-year-old kid not made a dumbass decision If he was at home playing Fortnite with his partners instead of running the streets playing YN stealing cars with pistols on them, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Shit, same thing happened in New Jersey Drive. Shit.
And people don't want to. People don't want to
And
just
and
admit
and
that.
and if it was your car that got stole, when you got to get up and go work and put food on the family for your children, if it was your grandma car that got stolen and she got to go to her medical appointment in the morning, and now some young dumb nigga done stole her shit for no fucking reason. When it happens to you, you would not care about what that police did to that little boy. You wouldn't care. You wouldn't care. And y'all not gonna sit here and lie. Because I hear the reaction when y'all see them videos of them young niggas out there stealing them the Kia boys and niggas out there stealing him. I see the comments, I see the responses. Y'all don't have no empathy for them niggas. Y'all be like, get them off the street. Dr. Umar said it best, right? But now, because this situation happens, now all of a sudden everybody just, oh, he shouldn't have to, but he shouldn't be out there stealing cars either. He shouldn't be out here running around with pistols and fucking this. I'm a grown ass man, ex-Marine. I don't have extended clips. You don't fucking need extended clips. If anything, most of them clips them niggas run around with, they're going to jam. And you gonna end up dead. Cause your shit done fucking jammed. You got a shitty ass extended mag. But they wouldn't know that because they don't actually go to the range and actually use their weapons the way they're supposed to be used. They just carry around because they think they make it look cool. Any person in here that like don't nobody them drums and them extended, they're pieces of shit. And half the time they go fucking jam. But they wouldn't know that because they don't use them. So I'm not. I don't be having sympathy for this shit. I don't. And because
We got a problem with what people define as a man. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, people who is going up for this, like, just based on the facts alone, the fact that you got a man who willing to leave his family starving for vengeance that he's not truly getting, because all he's gonna do is rot in prison, and they're gonna make him suffer for the rest of his life every single day. He ain't getting nothing out of that. He ain't getting nothing, but his kids is starving. His wife is starving. But y'all think that's like manly shit.
And that's
Not
why
was
I said,
manly. He was just thinking irrationally at the moment. He was just like
but isn't that
he blanked out. That's how I look at that. He blanked out.
But isn't that what y'all ladies who get on this app, not you specifically, but just in general, ain't that what y'all speak against so much about men? Is they be impulsive and emotional and instinctual and just doing shit because they felt like something? Ain't that a conversation we talk about all the time? Men controlling their emotions, trying to be logical, being rational, have proper decision making. Ain't that what we talk about?
Mad.
But because
do what he wants because he mad, girl.
And then it's like people are, well, if it was your son, if it was my son, which I have 2 teenage black boys.
I got
and if my son, who I have put my all into raising to not be a YN, grew up in the fucking suburbs, don't know what struggle is. If he chose to go out there and make a dumbass decision like that, he would have to, I would say, live with that choice. But whatever comes with it, whether it be jail, whether it be put in the dirt, whatever comes with that, you might even get away. And now you got to deal with me. But whatever consequence comes from that boy doing that decision, if it was my son, he got to live with that, because that's part of me being a man, teaching a boy how to be a man, and that's making a choice, and you got to stand on what you fucking do.
Host, you can't really say that, because that's just like what Bree just said. If that situation was to ever happen to you, just like for me, I have a 16-year-old
again, y'all are placing y'all place the way y'all feel and think on everybody else. It's just like when you see parents and they, like, my mother is one, for example, and she let my sorry ass brother run her through the dirt, and she bailing him out of jail and wasting her time and trying to save the sorry ass kid who don't want to be better. And when we call it out and say that's bullshit, you'll see when you get kids, no, I won't. That's not me. I'm not you. I would never fucking run myself in the dirt behind a sorry ass kid. Y'all gotta stop putting y'all what y'all would fucking do because y'all weak minded and y'all make poor ass decisions on everybody. Because everybody's not like that.
Weak minded though.
Everybody's not like that. Everybody not like that.
Benny, you saying
Ma'am, I have been on deployments. I have seen I've been in very stressful situations, more stressful than this man probably has ever been in his life, more than probably everybody on this fucking panel. I done seen some shit, did some shit. It is what it is. You have the ability to make a choice. You have the ability as a human to rationalize, to use your brain power to make the most rational choice you could possibly make to survive.
Yeah,
That is what humans have. That is what humans have that dogs, cars, whatever the fuck else everybody's trying to compare us to don't have. We have the natural ability to want to survive.
Right.
So if I saw some shit like that, you know what I would probably sit down and think about? If I go, I might want to do something. I might want to go take that cop out or turn into Liam Neeson and go turn into Taken and or John Wick. I might want to do that. But you know what? If I do that, what's going to how I'm going to look my wife in the face? When she ain't no telling what the fuck
now
she
your
got.
daughter ain't got no daddy.
But apparently he wasn't thinking like that. He didn't.
Well,
he
ain't no man.
That's no problem.
He was weak. He was weak. He wasn't no man. He was weak. He was emotional. Like now your daughter don't get to have no daddy because you mad because you got mad because you chasing after some knucklehead son. Now your daughter don't get no daddy. Now your other kids ain't got no daddy. That's what I'm saying. Y'all are so wrapped up in what y'all feelings are. It don't even make no goddamn sense.
And this is what it means to be a man. This is what it means to be the very men that y'all get on here and talk about that y'all want and we need in our community all the time. There are times when I want to crash out at work. There are times when hell, my brother just passed last year. My mother just passed. She got struck by a fucking car trying to cross the street. I wanted like there are things that I want to do, but you gotta think. If I go out here and try to do something, what's gonna happen to my wife? How am I gonna be calling her through the fucking phone? What's gonna happen to my other 4 children? If I crash out behind this one child who wanted to be a fucking knucklehead. This is what we talk about. Y'all want men to do. Like, this is the responsibility of being a leader, of being a man, of being someone who wants to take care, lead, and provide for a family. That is the responsibility. That is the responsibility. Fair or unfair, that is the responsibility.
Exactly. How can somebody say that they are a man and they expect a man to respond to lie versus the other way around?
I want to say this, right? I'm gonna get down, right? Because listen, okay, now you said the young brother stole a car, right? And stealing the car don't carry no death sentence, right? So he stole the car, right? He came by a police officer who made a judgment call, right? You know, some people say he made the wrong judgment. Others say he made the right judgment, right? But this the thing about the police officer. If they didn't have such a terrible, messed up history of making judgment calls, people wouldn't say nothing. But they have a history of picking and choosing when they want to apply legalized justice, okay? So you had a guy in Buffalo, right? He unalived these people in the store. This happened. Guess what? They put him in handcuffs, bruh. He put him in handcuffs and took him in. Hold on, no. He put him in handcuffs, bro.
Okay, stop.
He put him in handcuffs and killed all these people.
This is already.
See, y'all you don't apply the law equally.
Already been said earlier. When he came out the store, I know exactly what you're talking about. When he came out the store, what did he do? Did he throw his hands up and surrender, or did he come out guns blazing trying to take the police out?
He just unalived 8 people. What are you talking about?
When he came out, did he run away or run towards, or did he come out and surrender himself to the police?
He just unalived
Did
8 people.
he come out
What are
guns
you talking about?
blazing?
That was a judgment call.
Did he
So if they
come
would have
out
unalived
guns
him, they would have been in
blazing?
the right, right?
Yes, sir. Yes or no? Did he come out? Did he come out guns blazing, or did he surrender to the police officers?
The fact I'm trying to make, he
Did he?
surrendered. But the
No,
fact I'm trying to make this. But listen, the fact I'm trying to make is this, bro.
Nigga,
That was
stop,
a judgment call.
stop, nigga. How old are you?
I mean, how old are you? Listen, bro,
I'm
you got a
33. I'm
military
33.
bias.
How old are
I know
you?
how the
How
military.
old are
I know
you?
how the military.
How
I know
old
how the
are you?
military is biased
How
towards
old are
police
you?
officers. Most police
How
officers
old are
are
you?
military.
How old
So
are
of
you?
course you're not going to say
How
that, man.
old
It
are
don't
you?
matter what.
How
Hey,
old are you?
was it justice?
How old
Was it
are
justice
you?
or not, bro?
How old are you? How old are
Was
you?
it justice or not?
Do you know how
That's
to
all
answer
it
the
is.
question, nigga? You have yet to answer
Listen,
any
bro.
question. So how again? I will ask again.
Listen. I'm gonna go ahead
How
and drop off
old
your
are
panel
you?
because
How
I
old are
know
you?
military is
How
biased and they
old are you,
ex-police. I know
sir?
how you is, man.
How old
All
are
right.
you, sir?
I'm out.
Exactly.
Apply that to the
Get the fuck out of my live.
police officer.
Get
Get
the
the
fuck
fuck
out of
out
my
of here.
live. You a grown ass man and you can't answer simple questions. These be the men that be the fucking problem. Those are the men, and he a grown old ass man, and that's how he walk around. Old ass man, and I got more sense than him.
Right.
You see, I answered. How old are you? I'm 33. Now, how old are you? Still can't answer a question. Completely different. If a
Right.
man,
He can't even make.
there have been
He
black.
don't even understand how to make an accurate analogy, Benny. You can't. If the inputs are different, the output's gonna be different. Motherfuckers want to add extra flour and baking soda to the cake and think it's come out the same way. It ain't gonna work like that. You can't add cocoa powder to the recipe and think you're gonna get a vanilla cake. You cannot compare one situation to something else if everything is not equal.
These
You don't
be
even
grown
know
ass
how to
men.
even do that.
These are grown ass men. That is crazy. That is crazy. They couldn't even answer the question. Anyways,
So what I want to say, because
Man, I'm gonna drop because I know y'all just ex-military, y'all biased and y'all.
I don't know what that had to do with anything.
yeah, I just want to say because I think y'all got my point construed because I see both sides. I see what Chad is saying. I see what Benny is saying because Benny, you saying a lot of the same stuff that I was saying.
So, but let me make sure so you was just trying to say because you, I think what. So were you trying to just give like the science, like the science or the medical perspective behind the brain reaction and shit like that?
Right. So what I was saying was that's why I had said I was like I'm not gonna say he right. I'm not gonna say he wrong in what he did. I'm talking about the father, not the boy, the guy. Right. The 18-year-old. Yeah, I see y'all pointing that. The whole point is like the officer saying earlier. He stole a car. That what I said. That's a crime. He had a gun in his head. Gun in his hand, which is a crime. Which is a crime because it's not legal. So he was in the wrong doing the action that he did. Now I think the people are feeling like. Could it have been handled differently without him being unalive? Yes. But when you that's why I said, but I see y'all side because when you put yourself in those kind of situations, I can't tell you what the outcome is going to be. Whatever happened just happened because you put yourself in that situation. So that's why I see both sides where y'all coming from. The boy was wrong for sitting in the car. The boy was wrong for having a gun. Whether he pointed at him, shot it at him, whether he did or not, he still had a gun. And when you in that situation, you cannot determine what the outcome is going to be. Now, could it have been, turned a different way around? The way the boy, did not have to get his life taken? Yes, it could have been. But unfortunately, it wasn't the outcome.
And then now I'm gonna tell you what a lot of, and now I know it was some law enforcement here earlier. Going off what my partner has told me before, those types that do that type of shit, he was like 9 times out of 10, if the police don't get them, them streets get them. And it's a lot of time he done because Atlanta got that point system. He was like he'll take the little teenagers to jail. They get out. They go right back to doing what they're doing. A month or a couple weeks later, he looking at video cam footage at the quick trip out there, and they laid down in the middle of the fucking parking lot because they done got popped trying to rob somebody, trying to do some dumb shit.
That's true.
That's why if the police don't get them, Them streets get
The
them.
streets will. That's true. That's why I was saying I see both perspective. I see you and Chad perspective, and I see the people in the comments perspective. I see both perspective. That's what I was getting at. Now, as far as the Rodney guy, which is the father, what I was saying, I was going scientifically with that one just from me working in the field. I was saying that we can say all day long, if it was my child, because you're saying you have other children. So you're not going to risk your life and your family's life for just that one, bad apple of a kid who don't want to listen, which is, I understand what you're saying. But at the same time, what I was just trying to get you and Chad to see is, until you can say it because you're on the outside looking in, because for one, your child has not done that. Hopefully they never do that, but your child has not done that. You have not been in a situation where that has happened to you and you have lost your child. So
But
what I
this
was
wasn't
just
a
saying,
crime of passion. It wasn't a crime of passion.
It was a crime of
He,
passion, though.
I mean, he knew it had happened, and then he
wait, can
reacted
I
to it.
finish? Chad,
It wasn't like a crime of passion. Is literally you walk into the room.
It was a crime of passion because the father was grieving his son. Like, yeah, I agree with you guys. It was wrong for him to do that, but he
That's
was
not a crime of
grieving his
passion. That's
son.
not what
And
that is not the legal
that is
determination
a crime
of
of
a
passion
crime
because
of
he was in his
passion.
feelings, and that's what made him
That is
commit the
not.
crime.
He
I'm
he
gonna mute
had
myself
time
because
to
I
think
wanted to
this
finish.
through. A crime of passion is literally reacting in the moment, not because you got mad and you wanted vengeance. Like a crime of passion is a temporary moment of insanity because you have incurred
But who determines how
a
long that
trauma that
temporary
has
insanity
clipped you.
lasts? Who determines that?
Talking about
Like,
legal shit.
where,
We're talking about
Didn't
legal
he
shit. We're talking
reenact
about
the
legal things.
video?
where's the definition that
That's
states
not a
how
crime of passion.
long? Where's the definition that states how long temporary insanity should last? Because the crime happened the day before, right? To
Right.
tell
Which means
someone
that he
like how
thought,
they should,
which
like,
means that
it was wrong. Like, I agree it was wrong, but to tell him how he should react to it when it just happened, I think is what
nobody don't
people
care
are
how, nobody's
misunderstanding.
telling him how he should react because the law is going to tell him how you.
So we can't tell how the father's supposed to react, but y'all supposed to tell the police how they supposed to react to a felon fleeing the scene with a pistol in his hand, allegedly.
You're talking to me.
Allegedly.
Right,
No,
right.
whoever.
No. I think, and in terms of the cop killing the boy, like, if he was running with a gun, then, like, yeah, that's totally understandable why he got shot. Like, if you got a gun, you should expect the cops to shoot you. I think the frustration people are talking about is
When y'all be bringing up this
is
temporary
let me finish. Let me finish it. Let me finish.
where's the line drawn to where anybody can't just say, "Oh, I was temporarily crazy, so I acted crazy."
Well, that's not what I was saying. That's
That's
not
not
what
a crime of passion.
right. That's not what I was saying. That's why I wanted Chad to let me finish because y'all that's not what I was saying. I didn't say it was a crime of passion. What I'm saying is
It's not. That's what I'm saying. There's no justification behind it because it was not. It was meditated. He thought about this. He knew what he was doing.
right. You're saying it's premeditated because he did it the next day. So
He knew what he was
so he
doing.
had time. He had time to think
Yes.
about it. Because
So there's no excusing this, is what I'm saying.
Right.
You knew what you were doing. You weighed the consequences and you said, I'm going to do this. So as a man, I'm not going to excuse you from your behavior because you made a conscious decision.
Right. So, Chad, I understand what you're saying, but I want you to allow me to finish. What I'm saying is, all I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, I try to judge people because I never took a mile in their shoes. I don't walk in their shoes. So I can say all day long, oh, I wouldn't have did this or I would have did it that way. I did it this way. But in reality is, you don't know what you're going to do until you're actually in that situation. So that's why I was saying earlier, I'm not going to say the dad was wrong. I'm not going to say the dad was right because I don't know what state of mind he was in. I don't know when he laid in his bed that night before he did. I don't know what his mind was in.
That's all I'm agreeing with. You don't know what state of mind he was
saying what
in.
I'm saying. Until you in that situation, you don't know what you're going to do. It's easy to say, I'm going to do this, this, and that because I have other children. I'm just, taking another look into it. So it's deeper than what we
Kids every day and don't do that.
Couldn't you make
People
the
lose kids
argument
every
that
day and
like
don't do that.
well, couldn't you make the argument that him doing that is like represents the historic like tension between the black community and then like police officers themselves? Because like what the guy was saying earlier was like, these cops making these judgment
No,
calls in the
no,
past.
I'm
no.
not trying to make
Well,
it
let
black
me
and white.
finish. Let me
I'm
finish.
not making
Like
it black
these
and white.
cops make these judgment calls in the past where maybe the person necessarily didn't need to get unalived, and and that's what this represents to me is just basically like the tension between the black community and then the police. Right? It's
It doesn't
just
matter
that.
what it represents. What is the law? What did he do? Like y'all live in these worlds of like y'all think too much. Like what it is, y'all have to live in the world of what y'all think the world should be and not what it is.
Wait, what?
Live in the world that you live in the version of the world that you think it should be and not in the actual world that it is.
Well, I'm not saying what should have happened. I'm just saying like I can understand where the father is coming from, and I could also
Nobody
understand why
cares
people
about
would
how
defend it.
feelings have nothing to do with this.
Well, I don't have any feelings for it. I'm just saying like I could see the argument as to why people are defending his actions, and I'm rationalizing why he may have made that decision. Like, yeah, I'll
You
go back
cannot
to the point like
rationalize an irrational decision.
people do that all the time though. I'm just saying like
You cannot
unless
rationalize an irrational decision. That makes no sense.
Hey, I just wanted to say that Chad is right. I have a bachelor's in criminal justice and I've been in patrol for about 7 years. So in the state of Louisiana, a crime of passion is like he said, you do it in a moment, right? We call it a cooling of blood. If there's a cooling of blood, it's no longer a crime of passion, it's premeditated murder.
And I'm speaking on this because I know what I'm talking about. Thank you. I don't speak
Yeah.
on things that I don't know.
okay, so I agree with you guys on that, but you can't like see like why he made that premeditated
It
decision.
doesn't matter.
Doesn't
It
matter. The
doesn't matter.
world doesn't care how you feel. Y'all think that the world cares about y'all feelings. That's not the world that it is.
Well, I'm not talking about. I know he's wrong. Like he made the wrong decision. I'm saying like I can see why he made the decision. That's
It
the only
don't.
thing I'm rationalizing.
It doesn't make it right. I mean, he lost his son. It's a sad story. I see stuff like this every day. Like it's sad. He threw his life away, but he still took another life. When I was in school, one of my professors described it as this: like you walk in on your wife with a dude in the bed, and you
That's
immediately
exactly what
kill
I
her.
said. Yes.
There is no cooling of
Yes,
the
that's exactly
blood
what I said.
because it happened right then and there.
You
If
know
you
what? But
wait, if
even
you
with
wait
that
the next
situation,
day, it's not a cooling of blood. You've thought about it and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go kill this nigga. And
Got more empathy. They got more empathy.
as far as the time limit of the cooling of the blood, it's really up to the state, but you can't wait till they're not gonna allow it. They're not gonna get him off if he waited to the next date. At least in the state of Louisiana.
No, he's going to prison. I know it. He's
And
going to
then,
prison. He was wrong for making that decision. I'm just saying like I could understand
but
why he may have did that.
and
the
I
Hogwarts, you
believe
have more
that people.
understanding. You have more understanding for that man who committed the crime than the family of the officer who was deal with loss, the unexpected loss of the next man, provider to their family. You have more empathy for you.
Well, I do have empathy for that, but my thing with that though is also like, police officers kind of promote themselves as like one unity, right? They're one conglomerate, back to blue. So maybe he was seen as like, okay, well, all cops are the same,
You see, okay,
Like
but
he wasn't.
you
Maybe he
can't
wasn't.
tell
It's
me
like
like
he wasn't targeting the individual. He was targeting what the individual represents, and that's a police force which
at a
historically
job.
has.
It's a job.
We don't know that. All we know is it was an eye for an eye. I guess that's clear. That's what's clear. As far as his feelings of police and all that, we don't know that. All we know is the police officer killed his son, and in retaliation, he killed the officer. That's all we know. We don't know his thoughts.
What
We
I
can
what I
we
Right.
can
They want to fill
guess,
in the
but
blanks
we
with all
can't
these
rationalize
these.
it.
what
But
I was gonna
Right. They
say.
want to fill in the blanks with all this
What
stuff.
that's
I,
all I came to say because I was like, hold on, I went to school for this and I remember this lesson. If there is a cooling of the blood, it is no longer. That's what we say in Louisiana.
It is no longer a crime of passion or manslaughter. It is premeditated murder. In Louisiana, that's first-degree murder.
Absolutely. And most
I'll say this, bro.
states I
Like for
went to
people,
school for. She is right.
for the people who keep saying like, "Oh, you don't know until you're in that situation." Like for the example y'all gave about finding your old lady cheating on you or whatever, right? Like,
And crime and passions are wrong too.
well, but the point is like, y'all act like everybody is like y'all say everybody don't think the same, but then turn around and say like, "Oh, well, you don't know what you would do." Yeah, I do, because like I've been in situations like I walked in on my girlfriend at the time doing cheating, but I knew that I'm not jeopardizing my freedom for no bitch. Excuse my language. So that's what she does. And so when it happened, was I upset? Was I angry? Did I want to be ferocious? Yes. But do I want to like in that split moment, I had to make a decision. Do I want to crash out? Had every right to, right? Every right to. In the moment, crime of passion, whatever. Or do I chop it up to the game and I keep it moving?
Exactly, Benny. Even
And
in a
again,
moment that could have been a crime of, because a crime of passion doesn't excuse you're not the person doesn't get off at all.
but
That's
it's
just
for
the
the
charge
They
they're going to
just
be hit
get
with.
less
But
time.
yeah,
It's still a murder at the end of
right.
the day.
But it's like you were even able to be rational when the loss is that you shouldn't be. You
but
were
it's
still able to be rational.
for people who keep saying like, well, you don't know until it's you.
You know your character.
Like you know who you are. You know half of y'all know y'all. Well, you don't know what you. Bruh. And then when you get like, you knew you was a bitch before it happened. Then when the nigga pull up and he about to whoop your ass, what you did? Got your ass whooped. You knew you ain't had the heart in you to be out here fighting. You knew you ain't like y'all know who you are in the mirror. Like
They know
like
they know who they are because they
this
know
idea
that
that everybody's just like you never like yes I know like well you don't it's like the gang shit you get down or lay down bitch, well I guess I'm laying down because I'm not
right,
joining no fucking gang like what the fuck are we talking about like
right.
it's
And Benny,
hard for y'all to fathom that there are people out here who just know who the fuck they are.
Benny, they're putting all this emphasis on his mental health and you just dealt with trauma and all that. Like, let's be real. The
It
motherfucker did
wasn't.
shit because he like it's the
I
same
doubt it
reason
was
that these
mental
people
health.
in these it wasn't. It was the same reason that these people in the
I'm not
comments would have
saying
done it.
they done pulled up
I'm
his
It's
not
not
saying he can't be angry, but it was calculated. Like
they
he
done
waited till
pulled
the
up
next
his he
day.
has no history of mental health issues no criminal background no nothing.
Didn't he work for the state
right.
or the government or something like that?
He did it because of the same reason that the people in the comments are arguing. They you ain't gonna do this to me. Let it have been mine. I'm gonna fight for mine. Like that mentality. It had nothing to do with no mental health. Y'all niggas just did that shit because y'all on a point.
I mean,
So,
it happens
so
all the time. Okay, you at work. The girl at work, she done fucking like somebody at work done the supervisor, your boss, whatever. They pull your whole card. You gonna crash out, whoop her ass, or you gonna take a deep breath and chop it up and go, like okay, now you whoop the ass, right? Now you ain't got no job. Now you unemployed. Now your car repossessed because you can't pay your bills. But hey, I whooped her ass though. Like this is the shit that I be trying to get to because people, and specifically, I always bring it back to the fellas. Niggas just do shit. They just do shit.
I
And
would like.
but when these niggas out here and they're instinctually and impulsively reacting to y'all women, y'all understand what the fuck I'm talking about. But when we talk about something like this, now I mean you never know until you're in that situation, and is
Can
his
I say?
instinct that he was hurt and his feelings. Okay, well shit. When he fuck around, slap that bitch upside the head. Hey, you never know what it was gonna be until you put yourself in that situation. You
I
should
would.
have been talking to him
Can I?
crazy.
Can I say something right quick? I was listening to y'all talk, right, and I understand where y'all coming from and everything. And
Let's be
my thought on this, I believe, especially who's that, Mr. Chad down there. I believe that honestly, I think it was deeper then you guys are right. He ain't mental, right? But at the end of the day, you don't know what's wrong with that brother because you got to remember something. This world that we are living in, like you said, it ain't fair and motherfuckers don't care, especially because the color that we are. See, sometimes people get mentally fucked up in the head because of all the shit that's been going on. This ain't the first rodeo. This ain't the first young man that's been shot. This ain't the first time of police brutality. So after a while, people like really get fed up with that shit because you know why? We've been on defense for a very long time. And what I mean by that is that we didn't have plenty of police brutality in our culture, and they didn't got away with it. Not even got away with it. Their justice, and what their justice is, the police go to jail for a little, get a leave, motherfuckers sue, get paid. We don't care about money no more. People are tired of seeing us get treated the way that we get treated, my brother. That's what people don't understand. And I listen to this because everybody is confused, especially our own culture, even within our youth. You know what I'm saying? You guys are right. If our youth wasn't out there, you know what I'm saying, putting himself in that situation, maybe this would never happen. And it goes back to that officer. If he was using his highly trained like how he's supposed to be, maybe none of this would have happened. So it's kind of hard to speak on
Maybe he
what
should
that
have pulled
brother was
over.
going through, and you ain't never been in that position.
Maybe he should have pulled over.
How do we
Maybe he
know that
should
the
have pulled
kid knew that
over.
the car
He
Maybe
was
yeah.
wasn't
stolen?
driving.
How
It
do we
doesn't
know
matter.
that? He was driving.
He
He knew
wasn't
that the car
driving.
was stolen.
Y'all
The
act
boy knew
like
that the car was stolen. Like
yes.
you
You
know
know who
that
your
for
friends
sure.
is, so y'all know what y'all friends is. Y'all know y'all getting people cars. Y'all don't like y'all like. Let's grow up.
Do you have kids, my brother?
Let's grow up.
Bluetooth pairing unsuccessful.
Do you have
God,
children, my brother?
do
I'm gonna
you?
just ask you that, and then I'm gonna
Do
get off.
you?
Do you have kids?
Do you?
Yes, I do. I have 4 daughters, and I have 3 in my custody, and one me and their mother is back and forth. So keep going. Do you have
Okay.
children?
No.
Okay,
I
then. So
take care of
you
the ones you
can't.
don't.
Hold on, hold
I
on, hold
take
on.
care of the ones you don't.
So it's
All right,
hard for you
okay.
to
So
speak.
I got
It's
No.
you.
hard for you to speak and say something, my
I
brother, if
got
you
you.
don't
Hard
cherish the
at
I got
child
all.
you.
It's not
yourself.
hard at all.
Hold
Having
on.
children
Hold
doesn't.
on.
That's not.
Act
Hold
like
on.
a farm animal does that.
No, 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 no,
Who
no.
is
When you let me
answering
tell
the
you guys
question though?
something.
Like,
Let me
how did?
say something. Let me say something real quick, and I'm gonna
Hold
let you
on,
guys
Rudy.
go.
Hold on,
When you
Rudy.
have a child
Hold
as a
on, Rudy.
parent,
When you have a child,
Hold on. I have children. I have 5, and I have boys, unlike you. And if my 2 teenage sons, 15 and 14, if one of them would have did the dumbass shit that his son did, consequences of your actions, big dog, I would be hurt. I shed some tears. But if he did that dumbass shit, knowing what I have put into my children to give them a better life, a better opportunity, the same thing that this father right here did, it is what it is, bro.
and that's why I say, brother, it's both sides. I'm not saying just agree on one side. What I'm trying to get Mr. Chad to understand is when you have a child,
Well,
no
he ain't
matter
got
your
kids.
your
Well,
your first duty and what you do
if
for
that's
your child is protecting them.
okay, stop.
You understand,
Okay, stop. But he has other children, so he failed
brother?
his duty to his other children.
I never said that he didn't.
So
You
when
understand
you
what? Wait,
have
hold
a
on, hold on, hold on, hold
child,
on. You're saying that like if I'm agreeing and saying that he didn't. I'm not saying that he didn't. What I'm trying to get you guys to
what was
understand
the
is
what
when a
was the
child. Wait, hold
okay?
on. When
Stop
you
talking
lose a
I don't need
child,
to
my
have children.
brother,
I've been a
when you
child.
become a parent, your first thing is to.
Okay,
You
he has other children. You're bringing it up as means to your duty as a father is to protect your children. He made a dumbass decision, so you gonna say fuck the rest of your kids because a dumbass child that made a dumbass decision?
Yeah, that was a bad
right,
decision.
right, right. As if did you marry the mother of your children? Were you asking me, do I have kids?
So,
Did you
so,
provide a stable environment for your children?
so
Like, get the hell up out of here. Like,
it's
motherfucker, I've been a child. I've been a black man. I am a black man. I know how the fuck this shit works and what you should do.
I just
Like, they act like man, just because you nutted up in some random bitch after the club, like you did something.
I don't know, bro.
Like,
It's a minute point that you're saying.
because you got a fucking few child support orders, like you did something. Fuck out of my face.
We still don't know that the kid knew that the car was stolen though. That's my like
Shut
because
up.
everything is about allegations.
Shut
You're
up.
just making you're just making assumptions.
Shut up.
Instead of saying shut up, actually confirm that the kid knew that the car was stolen.
Shut up. You are sounding ridiculous right now.
You sound ridiculous.
No, you sound
The
ridiculous.
kid don't know that the kid. How
The
do
kid
you
don't know.
know for sure that the kid
So he
knew
got
the
in the
car
car
was
with a
stolen?
complete stranger. He got in the car with a complete stranger. He don't know that person. Motherfucker, I know you didn't have that car yesterday, dummy.
How do you know he asked
Hey,
where to
what's
get the
going
car
on,
from?
Benny Ray?
What are you talking about? If you're
That's
my
what I'm.
friend, I know you don't have this car. What are you talking about? Like you don't know. You're not even thinking. Shut up.
Go ahead. Go Rude. Go ahead, bro. Gotta mute yourself, Rude.
Good, my brother. I just had a question because I don't see, my thing is, my guys, I don't mean no disrespect to nobody, but at the same time, I don't like ignorancy. You understand what I'm saying? And if people don't understand what's going on in the world,
Ignorancy.
what's going on, especially Mr. Chad, I don't even waste my time talking. So
Ignorancy.
y'all have a good day.
Have a good night, big dog.
Ignorancy.
Yeah, that's not even a word.
The irony.
Who else we got? I'm trying to bring. All right, we'll just go. Who it is? Take live. T live. Are you there? TZ. Okay. All right. Well.
Sure, I'm here.
Go ahead, man.
Hey, what's up, people?
I'm just saying there's a correlation between the people that come on this panel and defend this degenerate behavior and have all these excuses and what actual teachers who are dealing with y'all dusty ass kids and y'all as parents. There's a correlation here. And that's why I had that live a couple weeks ago when I brought black educators, specifically black male educators, up to this panel to talk about y'all's children and y'all dusty asses as parents. And the same type of rhetoric and the same excuses and the school to prison pipeline and the white man and the CIA and the FBI and George Bush, and it was everybody's fucking fault. And it was mental health, and it was all this shit outside of y'all fucking parents ain't shit. Meanwhile, these teachers, it's like everybody lying. Everybody just making shit up about these fucking kids. And y'all as parents. And everybody's supposed to adjust and accommodate your shitty parenting, your shitty children. Because of what?
They feel that the world should adjust to how
Right,
their view of the world. That's not the
the faster y'all realize did y'all, I don't know, maybe my parents was different. Maybe the people that raised me was different, grandmother, grandfather. Like, they let me know every day that nobody, whenever I got to acting a fool or smelling my own ass or thinking I was better or whatever, challenging their authority, they was like, nobody outside these, like, you're not Billy Badass. Nobody outside these four walls gives a fuck about you. So you might want to listen to what I got to say because I actually love you. And I'm doing this shit because I love you. So it's like, did y'all parents not tell y'all that? Like, because my parents didn't paint, my grandparents, my parents, my uncles, my aunts, they didn't paint this picture like, oh, the world just cares about your feelings and it loves you and they should just accommodate how you feel. Like, they didn't tell me that shit. They told me what the fuck it was, the cold hard reality of what the fuck was out there, especially for me as a black man.
Facts.
What the fuck was y'all getting when y'all, but y'all say y'all so real, so raw, y'all so gutter, but y'all think anybody outside them four walls of your household give a fuck about you? The police, these teachers, the fucking jobs you work for. Don't nobody fucking give a damn about you. You either gonna do what I say or you get the fuck on. Like who was raising y'all?
Simple as that. These niggas is soft as sweet cream. Like, it's embarrassing.
I can sit here all day and talk about, well, how it should be, and men should be this way, and women shouldn't use me for money. Like, we could talk about this shit all day. You know what my parents did? They prepared me for the reality of that cold ass world out there. They told my sisters cover up. They told me when you go in the building, take your fucking hood or your hat off. They said keep your hands out your pockets. They told my sisters don't go out a certain time at night. Don't go to the gas station. But like, they prepared me and my sisters for the cold hard reality of that fucking world out there. What the fuck was y'all parents telling y'all? That's crazy to me. But then when people like myself get on here and talk and speak to that, you're victim blaming. Well, that's not how the world should be. Men should be able to control themselves and women should be. Yes, no shit, but that's not reality. How do you make sure you get home safely every day? How do you make sure you get back to your family, your loved ones, every time you step outside that door? Do y'all not give a fuck about y'all life? They told me straight up, don't nobody care. Even as my parents, they told me, I can only care so much about you. If you don't care about yourself more than you can, I can't care more for you than you can care for yourself. Like, what the fuck was y'all parents telling y'all? I don't get it, bro. I don't
either, Benny. It's to the point where this shit should be common sense, but it ain't. They want to argue factual shit. Like the way. Why is it so hard
I
to
don't
accept
think
that
it's
the
all
way
factual
it is fact
people
when it
are
comes to
actually.
we're talking about laws are facts. It's written.
Yeah, I understand,
like y'all
but I
don't
don't
get to
think his
move.
mind was in that position. He wasn't thinking
It
about
doesn't
facts.
matter what you think.
That's the
He
thing. A
did
lot
what
of
he
folks use their
did.
Let's.
feelings.
He did
I didn't
what
get a
he.
chance to
Nobody
speak. I just
cares
want
about what you
to
think.
reiterate.
Go ahead, Megatron. My bad.
All right, and I appreciate you giving me, you know what I'm saying, time to speak on here. And I agree with you, Chad. It's just cut and dry. What he did was wrong. We all know that. We can see that. You know, what his child did was wrong. We all know that. We can see that. I don't think in his mind, and a lot of others, because that's what we're arguing about, I don't think that he believed he cared. And I don't think anyone who's actually rooting for this is in the point of caring about it. It has nothing to do with right or wrong. It should be, and it's facts. But it's been time and time again where Black people feel like it's not enough to do what we were supposed to do when things like this happen. When I say things like this, I don't mean crime, because crime deals with punishment. That's what happens. You step inside of them lines of crime, that's what's going to happen. However, I think this man is fed up behind everything that's been going on. He knew he was going to be in the situation he was in, and he didn't care. And I believe he didn't care because so many times since the beginning, everybody puts themselves in a position to be able to get home safe.
You know what?
Whether
That's
your
fair.
child does, whether your child,
That's
what I'm
fair.
saying,
That's fair.
what I'm saying, right. What I'm saying is everybody wants to understand this, but we can't. And I'm just going to say it like this. And I hope people don't start yelling and screaming when I say this, but I'm just putting myself in the eyes of this Black man. When you have a police shooting or a police pew-pew, we all know on the headlines and on the news what we're going to majority see at night. It's going to be us against each other. It's not going to be the police. It's not going to be any of this. We go on the news. We see it in the streets. We see it on tabloids, TMZ. We see it on social media. This is nothing new for us. We got to change ourselves behind it. That's a fact. We can't expect anybody else to do it. But on the contrary, when we do see, I guess I can say it, I won't get banned, white on white crime, police will literally give these kids ice cream. They will have school shootings and they will kill. They won't kill these children. You're breathing,
No,
but
I'm
it's
saying
not to
because,
say
sir,
that it's right. Listen
for
to what I'm
every
saying.
one that you see,
Listen to
there
what I'm
are-
saying. Listen to what I'm
they
saying.
unalive more white people.
Listen to what I'm
Oh
saying.
my God.
Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not going to
Y'all
actually
say the
bring
same
up
thing.
statistics. I'm not doing that, and I want to get my point across. I completely agree with you, but don't knock truth about something when someone is fed up about it. These white kids will go in and have intent, literal intent of actual murdering and doing whatever they want to do.
Hold on, Megan. I gotta interject.
They will have everything. They will have everything in their mind, planned, premeditated to go in and do these things.
Stop.
However, it doesn't make it right. But these children don't get unalive. They do not. And I think this man actually had a time.
Okay. just like I brought to the other fella who brought up the Buffalo shooter. When these situations that y'all keep making this false equivalency to, when these active shooters come out of these situations, when they come out, do they present themselves as a threat, or do they come out surrendering themselves to the authorities?
You're asking me, do they come out surrendering themselves as like, oh, I done did all of these things, but now I'm gonna be done with it.
He's asking if he's going to come out as an active threat versus the surrenderance of that situation.
And I will literally say, yes, they come out as they're surrendering. Now the threat is over compared.
Okay.
The threat is over, right?
Okay. So if they come out and they're surrendering and they are no longer a threat to the police, that is why they walk away unscathed.
Exactly. That's why they walk away unscathed. That's why.
It's not the same.
No, that's not what I'm speaking on. I understand what you're saying.
So why bring it up?
I'm bringing it up because in this man's mind, these cops who actually allow this to happen, nobody can tell me that they're not. You can't tell me that racism and all of this doesn't exist. You can't tell me through statistics.
But you telling us what this man thought.
No, what I'm telling you is over years and years and years of the same issue, nothing has been done. We've done everything that we were supposed to do. We've raised our children the way we can. I'm not saying what he did was right, but what I am saying is when you get to a point that we know once we turn on that TV that it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be sit down. It's going to be pay without leave. Go back to your job. And nothing's happened. There's somebody's unalive. He got tired of that. And I think we all believe that. Now, I'm not saying that where he did was right, but I do know if anybody else had that same situation going on and they were at least brave enough to do it, they probably in their mind feeling the same way. Does it make it right? No, it does
Y'all
not
create
make it
these
right.
Narratives. That is an elaborate.
There is no narrative
that is
about
so
it.
elaborate.
Listen to what I'm saying.
You are telling me what
Listen
you
to what I'm
believe
saying.
a
There is
man
no
was
narrative
thinking.
about this.
That
There
is
is
all
not a
you
narrative
created
in
that.
anything.
You
These are
all
facts.
of that. You created
These are
that.
facts.
You are telling us what you think that man's
No,
thoughts
I'm not.
were.
I'm telling you exactly what we've been witnessing for over these
You
things
literally
right here have
The
been
thing
happening for
is
years,
that
brother.
y'all will make cops
These things have
be
been
as if
happening for years.
y'all will
I
make it
literally
seem as
said
if
this
all
guy right
cops
here is wrong.
are the same. No,
There's
not
nothing you can say that's going to
You
justify
literally-
what he did. He
You
was wrong.
literally said, this is what I believe he was thinking. So you're
Yes.
telling us what which you think another man's thoughts are, meaning you created this.
No,
That
this is
just
what
a fact based
everybody.
on what
This
you
is what
said.
everybody is thinking, man.
Hey,
Go ahead,
Mega.
finish saying it.
Hey, Mega. Do you think that all cops are the same as well as, I guess, the same narrative that us as a people overall, we have the narrative
No, I don't think all
of,
cops are the same, but I do believe that there is a green light. I do believe there is a green light when it comes to Black American children, when it comes to using deadly force. I do believe that. And you can have an understanding behind it. If you don't, that's fine. But there are statistics that prove it. I'm not finna go back and forth about it. I agree with everybody on this panel. Did this man do something wrong? Yes. But the problem is that this isn't the first time that this has happened and nobody's done anything.
But
He
I don't
stepped
think this
up
is
and
about
said that he
race.
feels like, no, you're not finna take my son away from me by the hands of you. There was no trial. There was no justice. There was nothing. Whether he went to jail or not, he got tired of that. And a lot of other people feel the same way. That's why
He
we're
had
having
already
this
lost
debate.
his son when his son was in the street. When his son
But I
was in
don't-
the street, he lost his son.
Now, pay attention to this. You're right. You say he lost his son when his son was in the street. If that's the case, look at every example that's supposed to be right, but people did it because they had no choice. I'm not saying this man didn't. I'm not saying this man. Listen, I'm not saying this man didn't have a choice.
If he
But
cared
what I
about
am
somebody taking
saying
his
is-
son, he should have went and unalived them boys who took them gamers, whoever got his son into that shit. That's who I would have unalived.
Those boys that you're talking about, sir, did not pull a trigger on his son. This is not a debate on it. These are facts. This is inside of a man who has lost everything. This man feels like, hey, I failed as a father.
Everything.
This is what you think. You telling us this man's feelings now?
I'm telling you what
But
everybody
us
is
as
feeling.
black people, we're always waiting for
Do you
something like
think
this to
that
happen.
I'm telling you what everybody is
And
feeling.
end up
This
making it
isn't
about
just,
race, you know?
we done had so many marches beyond everything behind this same
But I
principle.
don't think this
We
is
done
about
put forth
race. I don't think this is
and
about
I mean
race.
it's
every
about
reason to try to figure
ourselves?
out how to stop this. You can
Okay, and
check the
what did he do?
statistics yourself. We done marched. We done petitioned. We done prayed.
I don't
We
think
done
this
went
has
to
You
the.
don't read no statistics, man. Like, quit.
this don't have nothing to do with race, though. That's the thing.
Since
I don't think this is about
2014,
race.
since 2014, brother, there has been 13% more unalive shootings for black men than white men, and especially when it comes to crime. Although there are more white people committing these crimes, there have been 13% more. Now, because I'm black, don't put that on me as far as me saying I don't read statistics. There is a thin line between understanding truth and just having
Because you
rhetoric
don't
and just
read
running off
statistics,
of
sir. Because if
emotion.
you understood statistics, even with what you just said, which I do not need to verify,
You
even with
do need
what
to
no,
verify it if you
I'm going
don't
to
believe it.
because I'm going to take it at face value. I'm going to say that you are right. I'm not even going to look it up. I'm going to say, you know what, you're right. Based on what you just said, an increase in the percentage of that still does not mean that they are not unalive. Way more white people. Dude, how many? Look up the actual number, not just percentage. The
We're not
actual
talking. I
number. They're
understand
I'm
what you're
looking
unaliving
it up
saying,
way
right
but
now
more.
we're
for
not
y'all.
talking about the more of the white people. We're talking
Oh.
about in the specific crime that has been put in place from
But
whites
once
to
again,
blacks,
you're making a
that
false
there are
equivalency.
13% more.
You're making a false equivalency because he was not an
Okay,
unarmed.
we're not
He's not an
making anything
unarmed black
false, sir.
person. This not no Sandra Bland shit. He's not. He was not no unarmed innocent man.
This is what I'm telling you. I just admitted that. Emotions and feelings got to be out of this. You don't have to listen
Sorry,
to
that's
me.
all
And
you're
it's
bringing
But y'all
into it. You're
not
no,
y'all,
I'm
telling us.
you
bringing
have
up facts. This man,
it's
it's a fact
nothing
that
but
this man
emotions
was
and
tired
feelings in
knowing
your
that he was
statement.
not going to
That's
be
all
seen
emotions.
justice
Thank you.
for his child. This man is tired of that.
That's you
We've seen.
telling us what you think this
You're
man
tired
feels.
of that.
Right, this man literally getting up here telling us what this man feels, and he going to bat for it. But he talking about no emotions got to be in this statement. You
You know what's crazy? Nobody has brought up the fact that they brought up that man's charges while at his bond hearing. He has a history of robbing and aggravated assault himself. Him
Who,
going
man?
out there and doing that, yeah, he I can say he probably was upset about what happened to his son, but he already wasn't far from doing them type of things anyway.
right, which means that exactly. Let's call it what it is. The man was out there. He like I'm about to get me one. Like let's call it thing. It's his mental health, his
It
trauma.
shows
He
he
was
should have been
get the
a
fuck
better
up out
role
of here.
model for his kid already
Thank
because
you, thank
like
you.
father, like son. Like
God, nobody don't care about nobody's perspective either. Is what is the fact? These niggas really getting up here thinking that people care about your feelings. The,
and they
the, the
don't.
law don't work like that. The world don't work like that. The only person that care about how the fuck you feel is you and that bitch you fucking. Other than that, nobody don't give a fuck about that. What did you do? That's all that matters. What are your actions? What did you produce? That's all that matters.
These niggas got my head hurt, boy. God
They
damn.
coming up here like
But they all coming
inside
up.
of his mind. Like none of us are inside of that man's mind. None
They
of us
all coming
know
up
what
and
he
they
was
saying the
feeling.
same shit. And they think they saying something so
Deep,
revolutionary. Y'all saying
deep.
Well,
the
hey,
same
hey,
shit.
Beanie, hey, Beanie.
Take it for face value. The man acted like he had no self control, and he went out there and he hurt an innocent person who had nothing to do with what was going on.
Again, if he would have got the cop that did it, I would have chopped it up to the game.
Definitely would have different emotions about it.
I
But
would
at
have
the end of the
chopped it up to
day,
the game. But
that
you,
man could have been an ally of ours for his whole police career,
He
and you
was
went
he
out
was
there and
a
ran him over.
he was a pussy because he did
No.
that to a fucking crossing guard. Like he didn't even, like I said before, you ain't even go get you no narc detective. You ain't go get you went to go get the easiest one that you could
At
find.
a
You was a pussy.
graduation,
You pussy shit. But these niggas want to
you
celebrate
ruined
that.
people's whole day
Pussy shit. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like
And
because
my thing
they
is
kill me.
with
They
that
too soft.
too. And my thing with that is too, like for the alleged, regarding if the son had a weapon on him, and let's say he didn't, that means the cop is totally 110% wrong in that
Yes,
aspect. If right,
that's
right.
why I
Right,
said
but
that's
all
why
that
I
coulda,
said
woulda,
So
shoulda
earlier.
shit.
I
now,
said
so
based
so
off
now
the
the same
information we
thing.
know.
Right. So now the same thing is what I got in an argument with some folks about it at my job.
That's what they pulled off of.
I can't
Can,
see.
can I can I say
I
one
can,
quick thing, Benny?
I said we can't see it.
Hold
you
on.
can't see it.
Hold
It's,
on.
I
it's,
saw it for
is it?
half a second.
Pull it back, but yeah, I saw it.
But yeah. So my thing is like if allegedly, let's say once again, the son did not have a firearm on him. He was running away, and the cop shot him in the back. Cop is
The cops
110% in the wrong.
in the wrong.
Now, if that's the case, and the father, rather than the son, now had a gun on him or not, and he did get shot and killed, unfortunately, right? Why is it any more right for the father to have killed an innocent retired cop working traffic details? And folks, I don't understand the celebration behind that.
Thank you.
It's double standard. It's double
Exactly.
standard.
They're more upset at the murder.
It's
They care
it's
more about the murder than they do than the
yes,
victims of this
but
man.
it's also people's just personal hatred for law enforcement for whatever reason they may
Yeah.
have to them personally. It's just how they feel.
And
Because it's
Unfortunately,
And
you
social
that's
can't
the
please
media.
thing
everybody.
too. And that's the thing too. So I was gonna
Can,
say just real quick after y'all get done with this conversation. I work law enforcement. I'm in the Air Force, right? So I was gonna break down, even though folks have broke down a lot throughout your live today. After the gentlemen that are up on this live now get done, if that was all right with you, back and break down for the folks in the comments regarding how the law enforcement aspect works.
Please, for
Well,
another department. I don't
yeah, I
see
would
why
say,
not.
well, we done had law enforcement
I
fellas.
know.
they don't care what because they only care about how
They
they
don't.
feel.
There
They
are also new people in this that didn't hear it earlier, so sure, why not?
All right. And I was gonna say once again, so like I've only been in the Air Force as of now, but we kind of get trained on both civilian and federal side, right? So okay, first and foremost, I'm gonna try to like summarize it up in a heartbeat. Son on the run in the stolen vehicle, right? Long story short, boom, stops the vehicle, gets out the vehicle, gets in a wreck, whatever. His son's has once again allegedly has a weapon on him, and he is fleeing from the cop. So in the Air Force, right, I'm gonna list off two things. First thing is called COAS, capability, opportunity, and intent. Behind that, we have something called 8 preconditions. But I'll list off a few of them regarding this situation. So regarding the 8 preconditions, we got something called self-defense, meaning like self-defense amongst the officer, offense of
You know, it
others,
don't
like
matter. I'm gonna have to.
in
I got to
serious
change the
offense
shirt
against
anyway. You're
others.
right.
So from there, regarding the alleged the son having allegedly have a weapon on him. And I think you discussed it earlier, Beanie, regarding like he's running off between the dumpster, between the garbage cans towards a bush line that can lead into wherever else. As if that person, because the cop doesn't know, right, what his intentions are after that. He could run into a neighborhood, he can go here, he can go there, right? So from there, regarding the capability, opportunity, intent, capability meaning like the person that they're after has the capability, which your son allegedly did, of killing an officer or other civilians or so on and so forth. The opportunity, because he had the opportunity with the firearm to kill officers, shoot officers or civilians, and the intent. Now, with him already creating or having a felony, he took off in a stolen vehicle, having a speed off with the law enforcement, right? And as you mentioned earlier, the cop doesn't know the intentions. The person has complete opportunity and capability of, even though from what it was shown and seen that he got shot in his back, to reach his arm 180 degrees back and shoot back at the law enforcement, right? So with the cop being able to do that or making that, him making the decision to do that with all that I've just inputted and what was inputted earlier, right? It I don't know, obviously, the outcome, but in his mind, it can be deemed as a probable reason to use lethal force. And I know earlier folks were like, why can they have tased them? Or I don't know about pepper spray or OC. I don't know, folks know how hard it is to get an accurate target with the taser or pepper spray, but lethal on lethal force is what officers are trained. I think you said that you was a past Marine. Thank you for your service. We train to use the same amount of force that is shown or given amongst the said suspect. So from there, that happened. When what the father's actions did in return, I'll say it like this: 2 wrongs, if the alleged son didn't have a weapon on him, does not make a right at all.
I mean, they've explained this
boom.
earlier and actually gave the case law and shit like that. They don't care.
And the thing about it is,
if I could
go ahead.
And I just wanted to add in real quick to what you said as far as using on weapons and whatnot. I'm a vet myself. If I'm not mistaken, everybody's trained to shoot center mass. People keep saying, pew
Yes.
pew center mass. People keep saying hit here, hit there. Not that easy. A
Y'all
lot of
watch
y'all
too
don't
much
even go to
TV.
the
That's not how that
range.
works.
Yeah, it really ain't. But I need our so-called community to realize we do more of a detriment sticking up for things. We always seem to want to make shirts and everything else for the bad apples per se in our community and march and preach for that. What about if we care so much? What about all the innocent ones who are harmed with just ourselves going at each other for senseless reasons because you stared at me wrong on my feet or the shoes on my feet or whatever the case may be. There's never an uproar or march about that, but we constantly uproar on this and in the eye for eye this. That's why we in the situations we're in now. That's part of the reason because it's an eye for an eye. Oh, you
But
got me, I'm gonna get
can I
yours.
can I can
Venom.
I explain that part? Because I can say this as a law enforcement officer. The reason why is because we're held to a higher standard as our job. That's why you're holding a
No,
cop
I'm
to a
not talking
higher
about
standard
law
because
enforcement.
that's
I'm talking about
okay.
people in the community. I'm not talking
I
about
know. I'm
law
just saying
enforcement.
in the community,
Yeah.
why people will get more upset about a cop killing somebody that may be presumed innocent or somebody that is innocent is because we're held up to a higher standard. We're supposed to protect and serve. We're not supposed to be going out
Give
here shooting
that
people
now.
innocent.
But
Give
if you
that outrage to the hoodlums on your corner that you let run your neighborhoods and whatnot, and causing you to have your food deserts and have to lock everything up behind. I grew up in the Bronx, in the South Bronx. And I used to be on the street, so yeah. Let's be realistic about what it is. Okay, let's
No,
be
I mean,
realistic.
no,
Stop
no.
making
I'm
shirts.
saying there's both sides to it. I'm telling you this as a law enforcement officer. We should be held to a higher standard. We should know when and when not to discharge our firearms. In this situation, if all the evidence that we say that we've been given is if that's the case, then yes, he was completely justified in his shooting. But I was just saying in general
Mhm.
overall. But that's not
Oh yeah,
talking
don't get
about
me
this specific
wrong. When
situation.
the officer is in the wrong, they are in the wrong. 100% I agree. But your job as an officer is also get home at the end of the day to your family. And just as many videos they showed them unaliving BLK. I don't know what the language is for this live, so I'm not trying to get it banned. A BLK person, I've seen just as many videos for a regular routine traffic stop, and then they letting out unloaded on an officer for no reason and whatnot. You got plenty
Look
of videos of officers doing their job.
look what just happened. What was it the rapper or something out there in Dallas that got off by them people at the car wash with his daughter?
What happened?
Exactly.
right.
They and mind you, up until that point, the entire hood knew what was coming. Ain't nobody snitch. Ain't nobody say nothing. Everybody knew them boys had beef. Everybody. Matter of fact, the dude that they took out, he knew that they was looking for him, and he still pulled up to the gas station. To the car wash with his fucking daughter.
Yep.
Everybody know Mo3 and all them was in beefs and with Yellow Bees and all them. Everybody from if Shreveport area, 318, fucking Dallas, everybody knew them boys with Yellow Bees and all, everybody knew them boys was beefed out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got
But
selective outrage.
who went to the police? Who snitched? Who
Right.
prevented that little 5-year-old girl from getting unalive by some
Right.
ass shit?
Right. They don't care. Like at the end of the day, what they don't realize is once upon a time, this time that they're referring to, like we still in that shit. But once upon a time, we did not have access to certain things. We did and resources and information and all. We got access to all of that shit, motherfucker. You know better.
Oh
You know
yeah, it
better.
sure
You
was a
know better.
woman cop in Chicago.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
but you
cause I
but
remember
you
that
you
one.
know better now. That's what I'm saying. Like you know better now. So the fact that you know better, y'all can have all these crazy thoughts of what you think reality is in your mind. Y'all can have all these excuses and rationales, but I'm telling you now, it means nothing to nobody. Go talk to anybody who is in prison. They will give you all of these rationales as to why their situation was so uniquely special and different and how somebody set them up and they don't belong. Like y'all all sound the same in there and out here. It don't
But
work.
everybody's so different, and
Right.
you never know what he
Mm.
was thinking. We're so
Right.
like, no, we're not.
Right.
We're actually more alike than y'all actually think.
Exactly. And it's like, don't y'all realize that nobody don't give a fuck about how the fuck you think shit should be and how shit should have gone? What matters is what did you do? And that's it. I don't care how y'all got these
interpretations that even though you say the world is out against you, you still think that the reality that is in your mind is actually what's real.
That's
Like,
why I said earlier, like y'all like, oh, it's the man, it's the government, but then y'all walk out there and act like they give a fuck about you, like they supposed to care about your feelings and your emotions. But
right.
then when you get fucked over, then you acknowledge that they like it's the big bad boogeyman. Like I just
Right. And then the thing is,
you know how I
Yeah.
operate when I walk outside my four walls, like the world is against me,
Benny,
and I move accordingly.
Benny, how these motherfuckers, especially these males, are kind of be up here acting like motherfuckers. Let me tell y'all something that is real. You are
The one, like the
responsible.
one
You are
earlier that was
responsible even
saying
for the
something was
shit.
innocent.
You are responsible even for the shit that you don't know. There's no such thing as pleading ignorant. There's no such thing as pleading innocent. It's guilty, non-guilty. That's it. Nobody don't care what you, because the shit that you don't know, you think you could go in front of a judge and say, oh, I'm sorry, judge, I didn't know that. That fucking don't matter. No, you don't. You are still held responsible for the shit that you don't know. So why do y'all think that just because y'all can come up with some elaborate excuse that actually matters to anybody? Look up any of these arrests. It all looks the same. Y'all all do the same shit. Y'all all got these elaborate stories that don't mean shit to nobody, but y'all have not figured out that nobody don't give a fuck about what you saying.
But what Buddy said earlier, like what I was gonna concede the point where he was like, he said,
he should have stopped talking.
He said, dude didn't care.
Right.
That's the end of the conversation.
He should have stopped talking. That was good. I gave him that. Right. You're right.
I was like, that's fair. That's fair. But then he just kept going.
Yep.
And it was like, so you admit that he made a decision because he didn't care. But then y'all gonna bring up, oh, well, he might have felt because he was tired of the shit that going down.
Right. I thought you just say he didn't care.
Yeah, you can't go back and forth
People
based
want to
off
be
of you
victims.
saying that, and then all of a sudden you're trying to put yourself into his mindset. You can't go back and forth on that. And also, it is premeditated. It's not heat of the moment because it's been
about it. He knew what he was doing.
He
He made a
thought about it. It's
conscious
been a
decision.
day. Yeah, he had a whole day to go back and forth about it.
Our people have a problem and want to play victim all the time for every single thing, and it's like I like to, when I argue with them, I like to say, let's say everything you're saying is true. Let's say everything's against us and all that. Why put yourself in situations knowing that if you know so much, how did you not avoid this?
Open book test at this point. It's an open book test.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying about this whole the white man.
It was a day before.
That's what I'm
watch
like,
sports.
y'all complain about this shit, the system and mass incarceration and the school to prison pipeline. Bro, you have this in your fucking hand. This goddamn phone. You can Google, you got AI, you can just tell ChatGPT, how do I avoid the white police, Mr. ChatGPT? And
it'll answer the whole thing for you.
And then you walk out there and y'all put yourselves in these dumbass situations. Like, what the fuck are we talking? You got the cheat code to the test. And then when people, and the frustrating part is when people who are out, black men who are out here, and we telling y'all, we trying to spit game and put y'all on and spread the knowledge and teach y'all and tell y'all how to move, maneuver, how to operate.
If you're not showing up with a stack of money, they don't care.
Right, it's an excuse excuse, and it's you a coon and you a bootlicker and you this and you just, and it's like, so what's the fucking point?
Let me get 30 seconds, Benny.
Who that?
Willie, if you don't mind, let me get 30
Go
seconds.
ahead,
I ain't gonna waste too much of your time. Good evening to all y'all. I don't want to be I ain't trying to be rude or disrespectful, right? But it sounds like y'all starting the alphabet at H. You know what I'm saying? You can't. Everybody out here sees it the way the fuck they want to see it. You don't get to control how nobody else see it. You know what I'm saying? You don't get to control this man who seen a cop and turned red and went and ran his ass over. Was he smart? Come on, man. Absolutely not. He's a fucking idiot. But he did what he did. What about the other motherfucker who stand on the corner drinking all day, smoking crack? Some people don't know where they come from. They don't know. We don't know shit. We don't know. So you want to blame them? You want to tell everybody you should know 1 + 1 is 2? Everybody should know 1 + 1 is 2. Some motherfuckers is crash outs and they just choose to be. You don't get to stand up here and say he wrong. You ain't in his situation. You don't know where he come from. You seen his last 4 steps. You ain't seen his last 10 before that. You
Would
don't
you
get the
say
pick, Bo.
he?
You
Would
don't
you
Thank you
get.
for your services.
I'm
say?
not saying no.
You're being so
I'm not saying he wrong or right. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we keep starting this conversation in the alphabet at H. We
Right.
need
30
to start
seconds
at
up.
A.
30 seconds up.
Go ahead. You got it.
All I heard was lack of accountability.
I mean, I was just gonna ask, like, what do you, since you said, how are we to say that he's wrong, but are we to say that he's any more right because he feels a certain way versus how reality is
That's why I
really?
said I'm not saying him. I'm not saying right or wrong. I agree with you. If you want to say he wrong, I agree with you. You want to say he right? You know, I'm not arguing that point. I'm just saying where we starting the conversation at. We don't get to pick. You see what I'm saying?
But
We don't get to
why,
pick.
You
as
do get
adults, why
We
would
don't
we
get to pick.
care?
He
Who?
got to
Right?
pick.
No.
Why do we
Stop.
care?
I'm not talking about as adults. I'm talking about as people, as the color
Right.
of your skin,
Right,
how
why do
we
we
got to
care?
where we at.
What
We
happened to
all
H?
got.
You
I'm
think
saying we
he
all got different views on how we got to where we at. I don't get to say, Benny, you don't go to work every day, so you wrong because you seen your daddy selling crack. I don't get to say that. You see what I'm saying? I can't say you wrong.
no,
If you want to
I
go
disagree with
sell
you, brother.
crack,
Hold on,
I'm saying why
brother. I
do we
disagree
have
with
to
you. Hold on,
care what
wait.
his A through J was? I don't care.
Wait, hold on.
no,
That
I'm
doesn't
just
even matter.
saying how he got how Benny get to H. You know how he got there? I don't know how he got there.
Sir.
I feel you.
Is
Well,
this?
1 plus 1
It's
is
how
1.
you
I don't
feel.
know. You know what I'm
Listen,
saying?
there's how you feel. There's how I feel,
Right.
and there's the facts. We got so far away from facts in these past couple of years. It's
You
all about
right. I feel
how
you on that.
feel.
I feel
What
you.
is the
I feel
facts?
you.
The facts
I
is he's
feel,
wrong.
but I'm just saying he
That's
wrong.
it.
No, nigga. Again, you miss me. You keep going
So
back to
all
he
that
wrong.
other stuff doesn't
I'm not
matter.
saying he wrong. I'm not saying he right. I'm just saying with a lot of these conversations, let's exclude him. You know what I'm saying? You can go back to Trayvon Martin. It doesn't matter whether it's the right. I'm
Y'all
not
making
Not
just
the
about
saying
same
no, it's not the
everything for what
same
it
situation.
thing.
is.
Not the
Hold
same
on, stop,
situation.
stop. I'm not saying it's not the same
Not the
thing.
same.
I'm just saying every situation, everybody wants to pick and pull. I use Trayvon Martin as an example because as soon as this shit happened, they wanted to go back to his school record and he was so bad. Nobody, you get what I'm saying? You don't get to tell nobody how they got to
You
where they
just picked
at.
and pulled,
You know
literally.
what I'm
I
saying?
mean, you may
You
not
don't
be able
get
to
to.
tell
Some
anybody
people
how
think
they
so.
feel, but we can definitely
How
tell people how what's right and what's blatantly wrong.
no, listen, and
We
I'm
don't.
not arguing with that. Again, I'm not arguing with that. I'm arguing the point that we
So
all
what's
got to
the?
somehow
So
get on the same
are
page.
you saying that we need to
That's
be
what I'm
more
saying.
understanding of how he got to H? Is what you're
No,
saying?
no,
We
no,
didn't
no.
understand how
I
he
think
got
we
to
need to get a
H.
hold of these children. I think we need to get to a hold of these
Hold
children
on.
and get them.
Hold on.
Go
See,
ahead. Go ahead,
I,
Benny.
this is part of the issue, and this is why, like, there is something like it's like everybody wants to have this pseudo intellectual, like there's gray area and there's
Mm-hmm.
nuance in every situation now. That's not how that fucking works. This man took out an innocent person. Again, if he would have got the specific cop that pulled that trigger, I would have no issue with whatever y'all are talking about.
10-4.
But that's not what happened. It was an innocent man who wasn't even in the same department or same even type of fucking. He
job.
was a sheriff, a retired sheriff. So whatever the fuck y'all talking about doesn't matter. If you take out an innocent person, however you feel, whatever the fuck was going through your head, he was an innocent person who had nothing to do with the situation. That is wrong. And you cannot sit here and say there's nuance, there's gray area. We don't get to judge. Yes, the fuck we do. That's not
Now it's too late, brother. You should have. If you would have known he was going to
Hey,
go, we would
Benny.
have called him.
because
He
this
seen
Benny, I got you real
red.
quick.
How do you?
that mentality is why you got niggas like Ish on that fucking podcast with Joe Budden. Everything got to be an argument. Everything got gray area. Everything got. There is something. There are things that we can. We should be able to generally agree on. That is
Black
right.
and white.
That is wrong.
Benny, I got you real quick.
Taking out an innocent person, no matter how you felt, whatever the fuck was going through your mind, if take away the police badge, because that's what's getting everybody caught up.
Thank you. I was getting ready to say
I was
that.
getting ready to say that.
He was a police officer, so he deserved it. But then every time I bring up, if it was your family member that's a law enforcement, would you have that same sentiment of they're guilty by association every time it's fucked up? So but just because it's a random police officer, he deserved it. Okay, cool. So if take the badge and the uniform off, fucking random white person. KKK member take out your family member. You just gonna go into a random white person that's sitting down having dinner with their family. Bam! You just that's not wrong. It ain't right, but it ain't wrong because hey, you never know that white person they could be.
Hey Benny,
that's like
I
Jeff
do you one
Bezos.
better. Hold on, real quick. I do you one better. We do it every day in our impoverished neighborhoods, right? Oh, you off my cousin, so now I go get your sister, then you go get my mama, then I go get your daddy, and that's why we having the issues we're having. With that
It's a cycle. It's a
Exactly.
cycle.
That's like saying Jeff Bezos is a terrible man who has destroyed he's destroyed countries, but but somebody who's angry at Jeff Bezos should go unalive everybody at the Amazon warehouse. Same job, right?
I'm not saying he's
Same
right,
job,
brother.
right?
I'm just figuring out how do we stop it?
That's
How
the
do we
problem.
stop
That's the
everybody from
problem.
crashing out?
That's the problem. You're trying to be like, well, I don't agree, but I don't disagree either. It ain't right, but it ain't wrong. You trying to
stop. I said from the beginning. No, I said he's wrong. I'm just saying, listen.
Okay, stop. So if you say that he's wrong, all this devil advocate, stop. There should be no extra explanation. If he wrong and you believe he wrong, that's it. Stop trying to
saying Benny. Moving forward, we can't change nothing, right? He fucked up. He killed an innocent person, right? Is there anything we could say on here that's gonna bring that man back? No. What do we do moving forward? People need to figure out where they from.
That is what we have been talking about. Not dealing with y'all raggedy ass kids and keeping them out the fucking street. So they not running around with their partners stealing cars, running around with fucking weapons on them, running away from the police after a chase.
Benny, I have a question.
Who gonna disagree with you?
There's been plenty that have disagreed.
We can't even move forward.
Idiots if they disagree.
We can't move forward with nothing if y'all it's the current mentality that is the problem. It's the current mentality.
So again, let me go back to where I started at. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. Let's go back to where I started at. We need to figure out where the thinking is. What made him go? If it's him you want to talk about, let's pick him. What made him feel like going to kill an innocent person would get his lick back? What was he thinking? If that's what y'all want,
we can't say what he was thinking.
Out what he thinking. Exactly. So how do we move forward? That's all I'm saying, brother. Can we move forward and get these kids together like Benny said? Can we get them together? Is it possible? Or do we have to stop black women from just having kids because the dude was sexy?
Women got
Where do we pick it at
all? You just
kids. I'm talking about kids. Remember kids.
We as a people need to take more accountability over our own actions of what needs to happen. But people like to beat around the bush.
We all get everybody to do the same thing. How do we get everybody to do the same thing?
People need to put their children first in their life when they make all decisions. There's too many people who do not. There are too many people, women and men included. There are women who put men before anything else in their life other than their children. There are men who put their free will and what they may say their peace. Everybody puts their peace first these days, and it don't be.
But this is a father. This is a father. That doesn't even apply to here because the father was in the home with his son. That doesn't even apply to that situation. The father was in the home.
He was robbing.
It is the mentality. Oh my God.
People pass it down sometimes.
Benny just said the kids. That's what I'm talking about. So how do we, if we gonna grab these kids, how do we all grab women, men, black women, black men? How do we get everybody?
I'm gonna tell you how right now. I'm gonna tell you how right now.
Their kid.
I'm gonna say how right now. Stop glorifying this ghetto behavior. Stop with this being your kid's friend. You're the parent. Get back to actual discipline and raising our dang on kids.
You can do
and
both.
Stop letting everything slide. Bring back shame. Everything is not okay.
Dang.
Stop supporting the stuff that quote unquote is being pushed onto us by the YT man within the music and everything else, and going out here and spending all this money on Jordans and everything. Educate yourself. It all starts in your home, bro.
I believe in having instead of doing a 1 million man march in DC, you need to do it on your block. I'm with you. We need to get everybody on the same page. My only thing is we all get to point in your house. Once somebody
hold on.
Charity begins at home.
You need to do it in your household. Do it in your household. Everybody, you don't get community with broken homes.
Benny, you don't think most of the men in here are doing what you're doing? You don't think so?
Most of the stuff
No,
does
You don't
in the
think
household,
so?
but I don't say
I said, hold
most
on,
of the people
stop,
in this
stop,
chat
stop. I said
are.
most of the men on this panel. You don't think? Yeah, most of the men in this panel. You don't think everybody? Yeah, in this panel, you don't think everybody goes to work every day? Go ahead.
No, it's not going to work. I said, as a community, as a collective, we don't get community unless our households are in order. And black
Everybody got
people,
child
as a
porn.
collective, our households are not in order. We are the least married. Our children are the most single
I
mother
just got it.
parented. We get your household in order.
I got you.
That's the foundation. You don't get community like we want to skip over the baby mamas and the baby daddy culture and be like, "What a community?" We don't get community
until the house.
if you got broken homes. If on Christmas time your kids got to go to 3 different fucking houses because everybody got a different set of grandparents. How the fuck do you get community?
And there's wise
And
words
how do
that
we
say
fix that? Let's talk about that.
How do we fix that?
Divided amongst itself cannot
Black
stand.
men need to marry the black women they have children with.
Ooh, it's quiet.
You
I want
start
to
by
argue with
dating
you,
with intent.
Right.
In hookup culture.
I think we definitely need to put more on ourselves and not just give dick out. You know, we definitely need to.
Again, these are simple things. Everybody wants to have this Dr. Umar Tariq Nasheed conversation.
Like I was saying,
these are simple things that we are not doing. That is why
I was about to bring up Hidden Colors, sir. I was about to bring up Hidden Colors.
We want to skip over the fact that our homes, our households.
Okay, well, what if this situation happens?
What's that?
What if?
Bill?
This signal is bad.
Oh no, not sorry. I had a question, but I'll wait.
But yeah, like I said, how do we fix that? Black men need to marry the black women they lay down and have children with, but we don't believe in marriage. So that's just a piece of paper. And when I talk about that, niggas fight against that too.
Yeah, because we want to steal everything they have for some reason.
And it goes back to the conversation about authority, and niggas want to go against the grain of shit that fucking works. And
I'll tell you what, Benny, you talking about me.
And until we fix that, all this other shit that we talking about doesn't fucking matter.
Goes back to self-accountability.
It doesn't fucking matter. So, again, I use this nigga to talk about bigger problems. I don't give a fuck about this shit because his son was a dumbass. He's a dumbass, and an innocent officer had to pay the price for 2 dumbasses. That's just what it is. All this extra shit everybody talking about doesn't fucking matter. He's an emotional dumbass. His son was a fucking dumbass, and that's just what it is. If that hurts your feelings, I don't give a fuck. That's the reality.
You can't hurt nobody's feelings. Hold on, stop, because I want to make sure. Go ahead. I think he's like talking to me to make sure he clear it up. I want to make sure that I'm not saying.
I'm not. That's the problem. I'm not talking to you.
Okay.
I'm talking. I
thought you were directing at me.
You had a situation of 2 dumbasses and an innocent officer had to pay the price for 2 dumbasses because that boy who was by all accounts by the family and everything was raised to not be in those streets, and he wanted to run, stealing cars, doing stupid shit he ain't got no business doing. If he was at the house with his partners playing Fortnite, he'd still be here. His daddy wouldn't be in jail, and his mother, which was his wife, would not be without a protector. And if they have other children, they would not be without a father and a protector also. Mm-hmm. But that's the part nobody wants to talk about because everybody's so hyped up that he's a martyr and he took out a police. He was so pussy he couldn't even take out the one that took his fucking son. He walking free. No cons. He laughing at his dumb ass. He probably gonna pick up the phone and call the COs in the jailhouse and say fuck with him. You see how stupid that is? He did nothing. Y'all are clapping up for a failure. He did nothing. He'd accomplished nothing. The one who hurt him, he didn't even he didn't even take out the other cop's homeboy or nothing. Somebody that he knew. It was a random retired sheriff. And y'all are clapping for that because it's a cop. He fucking sucks.
Right.
He didn't even He didn't do what he was supposed to do. What
You
justice did he get?
right? You think it would
I'd have
be the
gave more
same if it
grace
was
if
the
he
owner
stalked
of
him
the
out
stolen
and waited
car
on
that
him
shot and
and
killed his son?
Say it
Right.
again.
You
Like
think it'd be the same reaction if it was
he didn't even. You said what?
you think it would be the same reaction if it was the
No,
owner of the stolen car who shot and killed his
it
son?
depends on what color they were. That would have been the difference of the
Right,
reaction.
honestly,
if the owner of the car was white, everybody be mad. But when these little niggas out here stealing y'all shit,
Now it's a problem.
exactly.
when they stealing your
Mm,
grandma shit,
All right, because I'm in Houston. They leaving
mm,
cars on flats, on bricks
when
every day.
DC.
mm.
that one when them they out here stealing people keys, stealing the sensors off people Honda Accords and shit,
Yeah, the Kia boys,
Cadillac
because is
converters.
stealing their
yup,
rims,
those
stealing
two.
the catalytic converters off people SUVs and shit, busting up in people's cars, taking everything they got in the inside. When you're the victim of these dumbass niggas, oh, you want justice.
On a
It,
police
here's
report,
another
you
thing
want you want
You
I
something to
want
be
find
I
done.
funny.
need my police report so I can claim it on my insurance. Oh,
Here's another thing I
now
find
you like the
funny.
police. Now you like the police. Then
We say stupid. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, right? I
Right.
find this funny, and when you, and then we also say you can't dictate the outcome of a situation that you started, right? But then we're in an uproar when something like this happens. You play a stupid game, and nobody deserves to lose their life, unfortunately. But like you said, you can't dictate the outcome of a
you
situation that you put
can't,
yourself
bro.
in.
It's like I said earlier. Like if you in the 757, you know, and even in Myrtle Beach, you know how it is right now out there on them ocean fronts and the beach out
Don't go
there.
to the ocean front
Oh yeah,
on major
we don't even go
weekends.
out
Don't
there
go
no
down
more.
there.
Right. You
Don't go
know
out there on
how
no
it
major
is.
weekend.
Now, if I take my black ass out there and I become collateral damage to some dumbass niggas, who do I have to blame? The young niggas or myself for even put my grown big ass in them type of situation to begin with that I had no what I'm a married man with a family of 5. What the fuck am I doing out at the ocean front at 8, 9, 10 o'clock? Trying to club at bar hop.
Them days
As
are
soon as
over.
the sun go down, leave the ocean front. That's I've been
It
learned
used
that
to. You
years
used
ago.
to be able to do that. You
You know,
can't
you're
no more
right.
out there.
That used to be the thing. When the sun go down, leave the ocean front. But now it don't matter because it could pop off at any point in time, any day.
Yeah, my homegirl got killed out there a few years ago
Talking about the
for
one
no reason.
that they said that was with the Pharrell shit.
Her and the dude got lost their life out
Donovan
there at the
Lynch.
same.
Yeah, Donovan.
Got hit in the neck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. See? And then the one in Myrtle Beach, the 11 people that got took out of Myrtle Beach, they have shit to do with nothing.
crazy.
They trying to have a good time. But these motherfuckers y'all be taking up for it. Have like, man, they pulled 40 firearms last weekend off them little niggas. And they said most of the weapons they took was off of minors.
My gosh, that's sad.
You know, another thing I find weird, when the police come and be nice, there's complaint, or when people don't call the police because this narrative is being pushed that they unalive us so quickly, there's still complaint and pushback. I'm just use one reference from it's a while back. There was a bunch of young kids having a pool party, and it was an old YT lady, and instead of her calling the police, she went over there and asked them to quiet down, and they picked, and like I think 70s or 80s, they picked up and almost dropped her. She could have been seriously hurt.
That's crazy.
Everybody in the comments, oh, you should have mind your business. Now, if she would have called the police, then y'all have been in the uproar. Like, pick and choose, please.
They out there, and I tell you, my partner that was up here earlier, he out there in the cab. They like 800 or 900 men understaffed out there. That's why they get so much overtime and they get so many pay raises because they got to do something with the money. And bro, he was like, bro, wait times on calls be like an hour, 2 hours. And they be like, where y'all at? Yeah, y'all on that, y'all show up so late. But then when they pull up to the apartment complex after them young niggas done shot it up, and they going through questioning and trying to get information, I ain't snitching. I ain't telling.
Yeah, the other side of it
But
is
because your baby daddy was beating your ass and took your debit card and rolled off in your car to go cheat with his other girl, now I'm supposed to show up.
I had a guy in East Point, Georgia. He quit being the police because he said they made him lock up 6 people a day. If he didn't lock up 6 people a day, he couldn't get no overtime. You see what I'm saying? It's a game.
that's
So
wild.
if we got to find a he now he works at a credit card facility as a security guard. That's what he does now. You know what I'm saying? But is he wrong? Is the system wrong? We can pick and choose. I don't have no control over no system. I want to say it's the community, Benny, but you say I can't use the community
But
because
y'all
I'm
gotta
not married.
understand,
So since I'm not married
everywhere.
and I got an old lady and a son, you know, I can't go ask the community for help. You know, I tried to change the old lady lights for low.
So your partner made a choice. He wanted overtime, so he chose to participate in the system that was locking people up for quota.
No, he left.
Quit. I say he quit.
Okay, so people that choose to do that are making a choice. They don't have to lock 6 people up a day.
So I have to find out. That's hearsay. Like we don't know that.
If that's now
who said hearsay? Who said that?
Now I heard.
Who said hearsay?
You're telling us somebody else's testimony. That's hearsay.
No, I'm telling. Hold on. Stop, Benny. Hold on. Because we don't do that. Hold on.
I've never heard of that, but I have heard of like tickets, tickets, not
like
overtime. So let's go back on the hearsay real quick. I'm an electrician. I was wiring up a building on off of Buford Highway in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's a secured security card facility. They make cards or send cards, ship cards.
But
I don't know.
But it's hearsay.
Go ahead.
Unless he is telling us his truth, and that is what he did. You telling us what he did, that's hearsay. That's literally the definition of hearsay. Why are you upset?
Word of mouth.
I'm not good with English. My bad. It seems real. And I ain't gonna say it's disrespectful.
It's a legal term.
It just seems slighted.
It is
just seems like you're slighting what I'm telling you.
How
you know what I'm saying?
feel. It is a legal term that is used in court.
I feel you. So my feeling. I don't want you to respect my feelings, but I got to stand on my feelings.
That a way.
I don't know.
Say it again. Say that again, Mama.
Your friend could have really fought that a different way. I mean, I get it would have been a lot to do. Going to we don't know if it's true.
You're right. I'm a liar. Yes, you're right. I smoke crack twice a day, and I beat women.
He understood that all money ain't good money, and he made a wise decision to not be a bad guy. Clearly.
Why I can't be that, Ma? Why I can't be that? Why I got to be that?
I ain't gonna lie. You could still arrest 6 people a day that are actually doing something wrong and not bother people who are just doing simple things. I mean,
I don't know.
There's a lot going on.
I know. It's hard to do it with just, they want you to lock up drunks all day. It's East Point. You know what I'm saying? Jaywalkers, pissers, that's all that be in there.
Well, they'll give them a place to sleep tonight. They'll go about their business. But,
I don't know.
Hard.
They ain't telling him he got to unalive 6 black people or people of color a day. That's that, because some people make it seem like that's the quota.
None of that is true.
According to Virginia law, a police force shall not establish formal or informal quotas that require police officers.
I don't think they're legal anywhere.
Or issue specific summons. So I don't know. That's what
right. That's what I was saying.
I can tell you right now, ain't no quota.
Right.
Ain't no
exactly.
Quota.
I won't even say that.
But you have to understand, if you're working the road for 40 hours, Virginia State
Where the police at? What? Say it again.
Virginia State Police.
Oh.
I'm in Maryland.
I just wanted to know. I wanted to ask you a question, but
let's just say there's no quota. But I can tell you right now, if you're working 40 hours a week on the road, you have to show some type of work. Like for me, if I do like 10 tickets, and they off my back, I still answer my calls. I work the crashes that happen. I do my paperwork, turn it in on time, go to court when I need to go to court. I do my thing. You do have some people that will write you for every single thing that you see. Like when you hear those rumors about state troopers, they be one of those people. They'll pull you over because your tire is bald, your inspection is bad, your windshield wiper bag, you got a crack in your windshield, you not wearing your seatbelt, you on your phone. Like they'll pull you for and write you for every single thing that they see. And they be like, wow, I got 10 tickets off of one car. I'm gonna see if I can make about 10 more stops and I'm gonna call it a day. And then they'll have like 99 tickets by the end of the week. Like some people are like that. There's no quota at all. But again, they tell you you have to turn in something to show that you're doing some kind of work.
So what happens if you don't do 10 tickets?
That's called accountability for any job. They gotta justify the hours,
Exactly.
My question was let's say what you're saying was true, Mr. Willie, sir. I don't know where you from exactly, but shoot, from what I've seen in a lot of places, especially in the Bronx where I'm from, that's an easy get 10 a day. That's an easy.
Tenement Avenue.
So I mean, even if he got 10 people, we said 6 people a day. Even if he got 6 people a day, was it still 6 people doing shit?
You know, that's what I'm saying. All Atlanta jail, even Atlanta jail, East Point jail, ain't nothing but people who piss outside and drunks. You know what I'm saying? All the murderers and all that, they all go to Wright Street. You know what I'm saying? All that real shit. Everybody who down there, they on tickets, license. It's not no real. You know what I'm saying?
Atlanta
so
jail,
if you ride, you can't in Atlanta. You can't ride. Hold on, excuse me. If you can't ride around Atlanta with no license, so if you get caught with no license, you go to jail. You see what I'm saying? Immediately, no insurance, you going to jail. So it's like that. So it's not full of now. Wright Street is full too. Don't get me wrong. It's not like it ain't plenty of people out there for murder and all that. He just didn't feel comfortable locking up 6 drunks a day or 6 people pissing outside a day. That's all it was.
The city of East Point, even if that were true, the city of East Point has way more going on in it than just people pissing outside and getting drunk. He ain't. If he needed to, let's call a thing a thing. If he needed to find 6 criminal, it's very easy to accomplish in East Point, Georgia.
But that's the thing, bro. Like from my partner that was on earlier, you got police out there that be scary, and they not trying to go out there and tussle with them young niggas and shit. He deal with it that's why everybody wait till he on call. They be like, oh, we going out with Officer Charles because he my business. He be tussling with them niggas. When he ain't there, they don't get into them riff raff and them rah calls.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. That's why it just doesn't sound. You know what I'm saying?
So if all he was arrested was drunk,
that's you trying to see now. See now it's how I sound. You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't sound
don't
valid.
call me no liar. You know what I'm saying? I'm just telling you what I know.
Right, because you're an electrician.
Me, keep it to yourself. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I can question the validity of it. First of all, it's hearsay, so therefore, it doesn't even. It don't make sense. You telling me?
Enjoy y'all night, bro. I
exactly.
don't go back
Here you
and
go.
forth with grown men.
You good,
go. Benny.
Exactly.
Hey, Benny, I've been following you. I appreciate you.
You can't tell me what another man said.
All right, bro.
All right, I won't.
Tell me your truth about how you was an electrician on Buford Highway, which ain't even in East Point, and it's just like, bro, shut up.
Oh Lord, boy, y'all make my head hurt tonight. I'm about to get out this bitch at 8.
It's like, don't tell me what another man said. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is that a problem for you?
Lord, boy, y'all. Boy, I'm bringing Brittany up real quick. But
listen, we the most powerful, most educated, most everything, but the biggest victims of everything at the same time. The math ain't mathing for me.
Bruh, what?
That's because we got no pride, all ego.
Oh my God, bro. My head hurt. Like literally. I can't, bro. I can't. I just
watch Sinners. It's a good movie.
It just be so, boy. Oh Lord, but I can't even goddamn say. From these fucking dudes that's been up here, just excuse at the excuse for these women that done came up here, and it's excuse at the excuse. It's like, but y'all want leaders. Y'all want men to step up and be leaders and be calculated and be respectful and all this shit that y'all complain about that men don't do. But then y'all, when we start talking about these young niggas out here doing dumb shit, getting off by each other, getting off by the police, getting put in jail, it's like all that rhetoric again. And y'all wonder why they do the shit they do, because it is what's rewarded. It is what is sympathized. They're the ones that get the empathy, the understanding, the compassion, the nuance. Meanwhile, the nigga who did what he was supposed to do, he get black and white. He get cut and dry. You either is or you ain't. And then you'll even have the niggas who made it out and did what they were supposed to do still turn around and make excuses for the very same niggas that likely talk shit and threw fucking spitballs at them in class.
Bubbles. That bubbles in there.
Yo, Benny.
I tell people like this, and this is for the men here. We do it with our women, right? As a whole, we just want BLK people here. We just tell our women, you act a certain way, that's how you'll get treated, how you will get judged, right? We see it that way when it comes to the women.
Yeah.
Now let's put that to us as a community. When you act a certain, I'm not looking for them to treat us right until we can treat. We don't treat each other right, bro.
Fuck the community. Put that shit towards our men.
Period.
These niggas are weak. They are pussy.
All they care, all they want to, they will argue.
They got all this energy, all this riffraff until it's the white man.
Man, they feelings.
They so emotional. These niggas are weak. They're weak. They are weak, bro. Like I said, that's why I brought up the ladies earlier, because I just wanted to prove a point. They proved it. But that I expect that from them women. I charge it to the game. That's what they gonna do. I get it. It's whatever. But to have these fucking men come up one after another and they saying the same shit, but everybody's supposed to be so special and so different. And his brain, you don't know, because his brain is this way. You don't know how you're gonna react. But yet we had about 10 niggas, and they all came up and they had the same fucking excuses. But we're all so special though, right? They all so special. That's the crazy thing about this. Like, these niggas be weak, bro. And it's so frustrating. Y'all wonder why we get the results we get. Because the women gonna make it.
Yeah, and it's like,
these niggas are sorry ass niggas, and these women gonna turn around and make excuses for these sorry ass niggas, and then they gonna spread their legs open and give these sorry ass niggas sorry ass children.
Facts.
That's what it is. That's the problem.
Yep.
And then y'all get mad when the quote unquote good men don't hold these men accountable. But then when we do and we speak on it or we say something, y'all come in they defense. But then when they slap y'all upside the head or they leave y'all with the fucking dusty ass kids, now you want those good men to turn around and say something. No, that's not how that works. That's not how it works. Yes, sorry ass men, you over there open your legs and got excuses for that sorry ass man as a sorry ass woman. Y'all produce sorry ass kids that go out there and be fucking sorry and do shit like his fucking son did. And now we all supposed to feel bad. Now we all supposed to rise up and like, no. Just a whole family sorry niggas. Whole family sorry.
Facts.
Just for reference, because some people like to say, "Oh, what if that was your child or somebody in your family?"
Right.
I have a mother who got beat on, and I used to go and defend her, and I realized she was starting a mess, and I'm up here jeopardizing myself, and then she would go back to the guy and not want me to do nothing. Now I'm going to jeopardize myself and not be around for my kids because you keep starting mess and staying with this person.
Right. That's what
I gotta separate myself from that. I got cousins who did with that. I got a cousin who got under line for being in the streets. I have no problem separate myself from ignorant ninja mentality.
But everybody think that everybody, the people that have come up to say that rebuttal, everybody ain't weak-minded like you. Everybody don't accept bullshit like you. Everybody ain't pussy like you, basically. Some of us do have the mental fortitude to withstand traumatic events, to withstand trauma, to withstand, not saying we don't talk about it, go get therapy, whatever the case may be, but to go through life and still be rational or not be selfish, because that's what it is. Y'all be selfish. Y'all selfish people. To be a leader of a family, of a man, as a man, I don't get to be selfish. I don't get to be emotional. I don't get to react based off of my emotions, because it's not just me. It's not just me. That's what I'm saying. Like, well, you don't know until you, y'all act like niggas ain't out here going through shit every day. I gotta tell you my life story. I gotta tell you my trauma. Bitch, I done been through plenty of shit. Plenty of shit. That don't mean that's growing as a man. Again, I don't expect women to understand this shit, because I ain't talking to y'all. I'm talking to fucking men. I don't get to make selfish, because that's what it is. He made a selfish decision. Now your wife is paying for it, and if they have other children, they are paying for it. I don't get to make, like when the white boys was at work saying racist shit. I could have crashed out. I could have slapped them niggas up, and I showed them. Now I ain't got no job. Now my bills ain't getting paid. Now my house get foreclosed. Now my kids on the street. Or I go to jail. Now, who gonna protect my wife? Who gonna protect my 5 children? Because again, nobody outside them 4 walls give a fuck about what I got inside these 4 walls. So I'm gonna be selfish because I felt a certain way. I'm gonna react because I felt a certain way. Like, that is why it's important to gain emotional intelligence, emotional control as a youth, as a young boy, so you don't get to be 30 years old crashing out over dumbass shit. So when you become 30 years old and you go through a traumatic event, like losing a family member, losing a child, losing certain, like, you can withstand that, so you can get the proper help, not crash out and just throw your life away.
Right. As a man, you all it takes is a little trauma and you come crumpling at the seams. Like
my uncles, when they came home.
And that because this topic came on my For You page. And I know a lot of people was upset about it because it was bringing up, how history was, how, white tees don't like black men and they don't want to see them successful. But in my opinion, I don't think that he was right for the decision that he made, because I think he should have took it in legal matters. What I mean by that, pointing out the cop that did that to his son and, getting justice for it instead of crashing out.
But I'm saying, even his crash out didn't make sense, because he didn't, it was bitch made, because he didn't even go get the cop or anybody related to the cop that did it to his son.
Right.
So it was nothing.
Right.
It was a callous.
Leave and he saw that happen.
But this is what our people need to realize. Like, we can't just keep, using our emotions to react. We have to take legal matter, because at the end of the day, we put our hands on somebody because of something we don't like, we're going to jail. They're going to come at us first.
Why you think no white folk do that shit? They know y'all.
Why they antagonizing?
Right, they know you gonna get riled up. What that, like that Chinese lady that just got recorded, she ended up throwing racial slurs around. They laughed in her face. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
like
people got.
Now you done crashed. Like, but they if your go-to is the N-word, that's all you got.
That's the best you can do.
And you know what? I seen videos of women when they like at Five Below, or stores that we usually shop at, and white women be on their Karen stuff, and they be like, "You niggers," and all that other stuff. They end up fighting them. No, you have to play the mind game with them. It's all a game. But we react so emotional.
You don't think, in my big black ass, you don't think that these white boys they're trying to provoke me before, because they know, he big and black, and we know.
And what was your response?
Right, people they just.
You just look at them like, okay.
They're never beating the allegations. They're never beating the allegations. Like the thing that separates, like I said before, the thing that separates man from beasts, from cattle, from animal, from livestock, from the shit that they used to classify black people as, is rational thought, the ability to make a rational decision, the ability to work complex issues and come up with thoughts. But we don't exhibit those, but we don't exhibit those traits.
You think the fucking white trailer trash that's sitting there calling me an N-word at the store, and I'm looking at him like, look what you like I'm right. Look at what I'm driving.
These motherfuckers be getting intimidated by poor white people. Like, are you fucking serious?
You are poor. You know why, Chad? You know why?
Too prideful.
They ain't prideful. They don't have no.
You know why, Chad?
No. I said we too prideful. At my uncle, when they came from behind bars, pride gets to 2 places: unalive or behind bars. That's it. We got freedom of speech. You can say what you want to see. Don't put your hands on me. That's it.
Exactly.
Talking about you are this and you are that, and you hopping in on rusty 95 Corolla that's with the muffler hanging off, and I'm getting in an X6 glossy.
Right. Like, please.
Wait, even my sister, even better. As much crap as men hear from our own women, you think I'm worried about the words this person saying to me? I hear enough from my own people. And I'm looking at them laughing. Oh, you think I'm a bum? You don't
At
know
the
what
end of the
I'm
day,
what I
I
got.
don't care what no bitch think. At the end of the day, and I mean bitch, male and female, because men are bitches. I mean, I don't give a fuck about what I think you think. Like, I don't give a fuck about nothing about you.
Why you
Like,
say
you know what I'm
Yeah, you
saying?
ain't paying my bills.
It ain't.
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
give a fuck
saying. Like
about you.
he putting, I forgot the dude name, but he putting his emotions into the situation too deep to thinking that. But it was a white man, bro, and he did that. No, you have to think logical.
They don't know what logical thinking is because, as a collective, if black men knew what logical thinking was, they would not lock themselves away in cages with a bunch of stinking dicks.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, cause that's what he gonna be.
And now, and the thing when I seen the video of him looking at the the cops or whatever, I don't know what he was saying to them, but that ain't gonna make it no better.
What are you now? What are you like? Let's think about this. What are you like? What is he gonna do now? You are of no use to anybody now. You are locked up behind bars, gonna be getting your butt took, and them
He's a
CEOs,
joke.
Hey, Benny.
He's a
them
joke. He's a
CEOs are
laughing
gonna make
stock.
his life pure hell.
He
Yeah,
has
his
He's
no
butt
a
took.
choice.
he's a
He has
laughing
no
stock.
choice but to grieve in jail about his child.
He is a
That's the
laughing
only
stock. They are
thing.
going to
And I
embarrass
and
him.
I know the mother is just so horror, just feeling just sad about this
Who
situation.
knows?
Because
She probably think he was a man. He was doing because these women
no,
have
that's
exhibited.
not
They
what
think that.
men do. That's
Well,
not
these
what
women on
men
here have
do.
exhibited plenty of times
I try to
that they're
I try
they're
to
happy about that.
Yeah.
I try to get them to look at it this way.
He
I feel like,
happy about
listen,
because he
what when
can't
are we
come home. He can't
when are we
come
gonna
home.
stop playing? When are we gonna stop playing checkers and start playing chess like everybody else?
I'm not play
I'm
chess
a
in
biker.
real life.
I'm a biker.
People
I even
people
look on
have
it.
to
I try
learn
to
that.
Hold on,
They
man.
have
real
to.
quick. I try to tell people, let's look at it from just on the street standpoint. Let's just look on the street standpoint. If you put your pride aside, you walking down the street, why to be with your girl, your homeboys, whatever, you in a situation, however it came about, you in a situation, it's 20 big dudes and it's just you. You gonna be prideful and get them, or you just gonna give it what you got. And let's say you want to play the street game, you're gonna give it what you got, and you're gonna come back another day and get them one by one. Which one are you gonna walk away from and win?
They have
Instead
so
of just
much
losing and they
pride.
still got what they want.
They
Their
have
pride and
pride.
ego gets in the way.
They have too much ego because they feel inferior, and they do not realize that exhibiting that much bravado, that ego, that quote unquote false pride, it tells people who are smarter than you who you really are. I know that you're insecure and weak.
Like it's been like when me and my wife first together, it was a time we went to see Mike Epps up in Richmond, right? And we was walking out. If you ever been to downtown Richmond, you know how it is out there.
Mm-hmm.
And we were walking back from the convention center to our hotel and shit, and it was like three. It was like three. It was like three cat. Now I was like 20. This was 2016, so I was like 24. Yeah, 24. Still young, and they, my wife had this nice little dress on, this tight leather dress and shit. She looked good. Them niggas, you walk past, they getting disrespectful. Oh, damn, girl, you fine as fuck. I'm sitting right there, right? Yeah, you'll leave that salt lane, man, nigga. You know what I'm saying? And she already like, I'm about to like turn around. She already just pulling me like, let's go. And we get a little bit. They say, yeah, you better go with your bitch, nigga. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm talking my ears hot. I'm ready to crash the fuck out. And she was like, we get to talking later. I'm like, man, why you grabbing? She was like, what the fuck was you like? What are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's three guys. You don't know what they got on them. No, nothing. And you like, they didn't touch me. They didn't do like, they just talking. Like, it is like, I'm here with you. Like, they just talking. And I was, and after she explained it, I knew she was right, but I was like, man, fuck that shit. Now, fast forward, I'm more mature about the shit. Nigga, it be niggas buying her. Last time we went to the fucking club when my sisters came out last Father's Day, niggas was saying like I was off doing my thing with my brother-in-law and shit. We over in the corner. Niggas was sending her and her homegirls and my sister's drinks and shit. I go over, I grab the drink, I nod to them niggas, I drink that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And they like, oh shit, yeah, nigga, my wife. You know what I'm saying? But now, of course, that comes with maturity and shit like that. But it's like, You got niggas out there that never mature and they just always ready to crash out over dumbass shit. Just disrespecting. And you ready to crash out. You know what I'm saying?
Look at me wrong.
Now with those 3 guys in Richmond back in the day, like, let's say I did swing on one. It's 3 niggas. I can't fight 3 niggas. I don't give a fuck how. Like, it's 3 niggas. Then I don't know what they could have had some blades on them. They could have had that pew on them. You know what I'm saying? And then what? Now I'm gone because of what? My pride. You know what I'm saying? Like, and at that time, you know, she was pregnant with my, you know, my middle son. So now I got 2 older ones gone with no father. A unborn child with no father. Cause I could, you know, like, for what? For what? But you got people out here who would just, if I was to crash out, oh, he justified because them niggas disrespect. Yeah, yes, I am glad that I have a woman that is not. I have a woman. I don't got a heifer. I got a real woman that understands. That's why I got a grown ass woman. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it is important to pick a good woman, fellas, because women will. There's another situation. Me and my partner, the one that was the officer in Atlanta, he was on earlier. So if you in downtown Granby, on Granby Street, good night, on the not the left side, so you pass the scope. Granby on this side of Granby on the left got all the restaurants shit. The right side where that building, they got the paintings and shit.
Other side of the mall.
So you know the club, I can't remember the name, but you know the club
Norva
got shut down because niggas kept getting shot. Then they turned into a lounge, and then niggas got stabbed up.
I know what you're talking about. I just can't think of the name of it either. Somebody in the comments will bring it.
So we was there, right? Like in front of it is the gas station on the other side of the street. We up there, right? We leaving, and that's when my partner he had the scat pack with us. Mind you, we got that fire. We take our fire everywhere. So it's in the car. Now we come out the club, and they like leaned like they was leaned up on his car, you know, just all on his shit, right? And so we walk, and they talking to some girls. So we walk up, and you know, respect. He's like, "Hey, bro, you mind getting up off my car like that?" He was like, "Oh yeah, you good, bro? My bad." But them girls like, they egging it on. You gonna let that nigga talk to you like that? Get up off that nigga car like that. Yeah, you better. Y'all egging them on. Now
it's on Plume Street.
His whole mentality changed. Now him and his, mind you, they don't even know these girls. They just trying to holler. Now him and his partners, they started like, yeah, man, you disrespect. Mind you, now they standing outside the door. Like my partner opened the door, he getting in. I'm already in the car. I already got my shit ready. Cause I'm thinking like these niggas about to crash out. You know what I'm saying? And I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was some shit to my partner. And he just closed the door, start the car, and you know, as he letting the window down, you can hear them like, yeah, you better get in your car, nigga. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, the fuck? Now, we could have engaged that shit, and then what? And we probably would have been in the right, because and we had that fire. They probably, I don't think they had shit. But they trying to be tough. Now, we could have engaged that, and we probably would have ended them little man. Like, mind you, they not even peeping the fact that across the street, the police is right there. Cause they be waiting. Norfolk police be out there waiting. It was about 4 patrol cars, cause that club always had issues. They right there waiting across the street at the gas station. We already seen that shit. So I'm like, even if we didn't fire their ass up and we just get to tussling, police right there. You going to jail. For what? Cause y'all let some women egg y'all on and hype y'all up, put a battery in y'all back. And that's the shit I be like, all this shit is what I be talking about. So when y'all get on here, you never know until you're in the situation. Oh, you never know. And then it's like, that just let me know that y'all niggas don't be living. Y'all don't be going through life. Y'all don't experience shit. If you don't have a good judge of your character when you get in stressful situations or, you know, high pressure situations that you don't have a decent idea how you gonna handle or react to it. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. I don't know.
Bro, I got one for you. Me and my boy was out just mind our business, and I guess my coat must have hit these dudes, and I knew the dudes, and I always let them know when the cops coming, all that stuff. Mind you, this is in the Bronx, South Bronx, right? So we watch passing projects. We watch the pew, go off every night. Somebody getting unalive, preaching right around the corner. So when homeboy came to me, he's a boy I play ball with. I'm thinking he coming to say what's up. He snuffed me. My initial reaction was to attack him. His man just standing behind my man's with a big old coat on in 80-degree weather. Had a whole back. Long story short, his people took me to his door not too long after that. I just let the situation go. Why? It wasn't worth it at that point. You got what you got. It is what it is. I got more things to lose. Just don't let it happen again. But this he also realized, see how easily your people gave you up? I see you, your sister, your whole family. If I was that kind of dude, I could for what? You did all that for what? Because my coat hit you?
Yeah.
It make no sense, bro. It really don't.
Yeah. They said they be like, oh, but all these points tie into this shit right here. Niggas want, like I said earlier, when Buddy said, well, he didn't care. That's the end of the comment. You're right. He didn't care. He made a selfish decision and he did some dumbass shit. Just like his son made a selfish decision and did some dumbass shit. Consequences of our actions, guys. But I'm about to get off this thing, man. Motherfuckers, I gotta go take a shower, take some Advil, probably go get me a goddamn public sandwich or something, cause boy, motherfuckers did a number on me today with this shit, boy. Good.
Listen, thanks for having me up. I finally got to get on one of your panels. I follow you and hear a lot of your stuff, man. I like more logical. I'm trying to surround myself and change my algorithm to get more logical thinking black people. I hate ninja mentality. I love educated black people. That's where the change starts. We gotta build more. So stay up, brother.
Appreciate that, man. Y'all bees out there, man, and
Thank you, Benny, for having me.
Yeah, you be easy. Appreciate the platform.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For sure. Y'all be safe out there, man.
You too.